Okay, we're ready for the jury.
Yes. I have some juicer food. This will be good. Okay.
I love
right,
when
thank you.
XQC reads
Seated.
and laughs.
All right, your
at my
next
funny
question.
domino.
Your Honor, I'd like to move the admission of Defendants Exhibit 155.
Okay.
That's the makeup palette.
Oh, okay. Any objection to that?
No objection.
All right, 155 in evidence. Do we have it?
I think it's there. We had pictures for.
All right, thank you.
It's called Thai Express 50%.
155 in evidence. 155. Yeah. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor. Michelle, can you bring up Depp Exhibit number 357B as in boy, Plaintiff's Exhibit, and it is a tape recording from June 2016. The timestamps are 4:47 to 7:52.
All right. Is that in evidence yet?
I'm going to move the admission of it.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
was that going to be for the whole 357, or is that 357A, or is that?
That's just B. I have that as B as in boy. I think there was a
This
portion.
one-
Okay,
Like a
357B.
bite
Any
standing
objection to
bar.
357B?
No, Your Honor.
All right, 357B in evidence. Thank you.
I can
It's
just
both
tell you
of
the
them.
basic fact is like, it was private for days after I filed. You did not have to file. That's not a move that the other party has to make.
Okay.
It's just not.
Okay.
And you did. Well,
Okay.
your team did.
Okay.
And then, within 5 minutes, it was in T&Z. You just do the math yourself without any other thing, and it's very clear.
Okay.
And I don't know if you knew that.
No, I didn't know that, and if that's the case, I'll acknowledge it. And if you say you have proof, then I'll acknowledge it. Look, it doesn't shock me that any fucking
Yeah, it just makes sense.
attorney would do something like that. It doesn't,
Yeah.
it doesn't shock me. But I'm telling you now, if they file the fucking papers tomorrow, which means the shit I gotta file before we go to court on Friday. If they file those papers, first of all, it's very bad for both of us. Okay.
Well, your team's not gonna file anything that they think is bad for you. Trust me.
No, you're what you're saying. You got to do something to protect yourself, which means throwing me under the bus for some video about me being.
Not me. I have to respond legally, meaning I'll have to go and pursue the. No, I have to pursue the whole course of action, because here's what you don't understand. If we do this, and no, because I called my lawyers and I said, why aren't we negotiating more? What is going on? Where are we? And they're like, everything is done in our court. We literally.
They won't settle. Your agents won't. Your lawyers won't settle, baby. I'm telling you.
No, we want to mediate. We even have a mediate. We even found mediators and everything. Like that was all worked out. The thing that Laura didn't agree to was she did not want to agree to a mutual gag order. And that's the problem, that she doesn't want the gag order. Why, Johnny? Why? Why wouldn't she? Why wouldn't she want both parties to not talk about this in the press? By the way, just talking about the press, not even talking about the court.
Okay,
Why?
I tell you what, Amber, let me get on that right now. I'll fucking get on it right now, and I'll get a message back to you somehow. Just But I'll get on it right now.
I just want you to know I'm not doing anything and have not been doing any moves. Let's look it up, the timeline. Nothing was on the office. Everything's been a defensive move because I'm being called a liar and a gold digger. And I'm not lying about any of this shit. And I am not after a dime of your money. And
Do you remember when you had this discussion with Mr. Depp?
Yes,
When was that?
I believe that was June
Well,
of
I ain't saying
2016.
she-
So after the
But
divorce,
ain't-
while we still had the restraining order.
Okay. And what, if anything, was going on with respect to a gag order at that point?
Objection calls for speculation.
I'm asking her. I haven't.
All right, overruled. Good.
I was trying to get Johnny to stop the smear campaign that he
Objection, Your
launched.
Honor. Hearsay. Lack of foundation.
What, if any, discussion did you have with him about a smear campaign?
Johnny told me that he would ruin me, that no one would ever touch me, meaning professionally, no one would ever work with me again, that I'd never work again, that I'd be selling Depends, is what he said, and that he'd ruin my career, and he refused to not engage with. Up until that point, he refused to not engage with the press by leaking.
Objection, Your Honor.
false.
Calls for speculation.
How is that speculation?
This is what he's telling her, correct?
Right.
Okay, all right, I'll overrule the objection.
Ironica.
And up until that point, I was trying to, get him to call the dogs off, call it off, because it was forcing me into a position where he was calling me a liar, and he was forcing me to prove it. And I knew that wasn't going to be good for him. And I kept saying, don't make me prove it. I don't want to. But he was calling me a liar and having a really sophisticated, very, very well-paid, very sophisticated PR machine.
Objection, Your
going
Honor.
over.
Well
Calls for
paid.
All
speculation.
right, I'll sustain the objection.
I'll move on. Let's go to
What the
Depp Exhibit,
fuck?
Plaintiff's Exhibit 357C.
Oh, I'm gonna hire somebody who's incompetent.
12,
just to make it fair.
30 to 16:30. I'm going to move the admission.
Any objection?
No objection, Your
All
Honor.
right, 357C in evidence.
All right. Michelle, if you complain.
I'm not, it's not about that. It would not be about me throwing you under the bus. You know what it would be? It would be released through documented people coming on the record and having the protection to do so that haven't had yet. It would be eyewitness statements. It would be evidence, tons of it, and it would be through years. And it would be unbelievable to imagine that either I'm in A, secret fake club, or B, I've had
A secret what?
I've swapped a secret fight club, or that I have been plotting to do this for 3 years, and while taking pictures of it and documenting it, just saving it up for the right time when I'm not asking for any money and have nothing financial to gain from it. But no one is going to believe that. No one is going to believe that one of the two alternatives, either I'm in a fight club, or I've been going through hair and makeup, or going through makeup through all these years, where I have corroborating text messages between people that match those dates of those timestamp validated photos of either corroboration between people hearing us, or corroboration of next day, Whitney sending text message to Kevin, him responding, or, the kind of stuff like between me and people in your life. It is insanely cross-corroborated then if it is a plan. I'm going to put makeup on myself and take pictures throughout years and just sit on it for years. While having this imaginary life run parallel to it. Do you understand that the pictures I have match with text messages to my mom back and forth about it? you know, and text messages between, say, Raquel and my mom, or Raquel and my dad, or, you know, between my two friends. Or there's a text message where I tell Jody the night before I had that James Corden night show thing, where I say, hey, Jody, I've had an accident. I think I may have, I have a busted lip, I may have a busted nose, and 2 black eyes tomorrow because I don't know how bad it will be until the morning every day. But I don't know how. I sing it. I just I'll let you know in the morning, you know, and things like that. It doesn't matter. There is nothing there. Nothing. And I will. And all of that won't be me throwing you in the spot. That will be evidence in this case. It will be criminal as well, because I cannot go on Friday and file without filing a police statement first. And the only reason I haven't filed that police statement, which has been used against me, by the way, every day, and the only reason I won't do it, I haven't done it.
Is that how it works?
Because I don't want to hurt you, and that means it goes out of my hands.
Is that how it works?
The third party prosecutor comes, and
That is not how it works,
lawyer
though.
come, and they went, like, the problem is, hearing from you, like, your biggest struggle is that this is just, it's the most solid evidence case of domestic violence I've ever seen, and if you give this over to them or present any part of it, they will prosecute him, and I felt like,
Well, that's manipulation.
I'm not, like, I would never want that for you. It's hard for me to even understand. I don't call myself, like, so in my head, it's hard for me to even accept any sort of victimdom ever.
Can you please explain what the context of this was?
I was begging Johnny to not make me prove what I've had to sit on the stand in front of all of you and prove and talk about. I was begging not to do this and have to sit where I'm sitting today. I didn't want this. I don't want to be here. I didn't want to be there then. And I was trying to point out something to somebody who I thought did not have a firm grasp on reality.
Objection calls for speculation.
Overruled. Good.
Thank you.
Can't you just
I
agree
was trying to
can't-
point out
Can't you just agree to separate
how
them?
absurd it would be for him to keep making me prove this by calling me a liar. I was trying to get him to not call me a liar because everything that I had said to date and everything I've said to date now is the truth. And I was begging him not to make me prove it, that there were photos, that there were witnesses, that there was my testimony. There were years of
Photos?
me with injuries on the dates where we were
Witnesses?
fighting, and they were documented. I mean, pictures from 2012. So I was trying to say to him, either you'd suppose that people would rather believe this is a hoax, elaborate, well-orchestrated, year-long campaign for what? Or that, what? It just seemed crazy. And I thought no one was advising him in his best interest. I thought no one was telling him the truth. I know he's surrounded by yes men, and I thought nobody was saying to Johnny, this is crazy, don't do this.
Ironic.
And I didn't want to hurt him. I didn't want to hurt him. I loved him. I loved him so much. That's why I'm explaining to him why I didn't file criminal charges. I didn't file a police report, even though it was being used against me. I didn't want this to go to a prosecutor. I didn't want this to hurt Johnny.
Surely. Okay, listen,
I don't
please.
want this to hurt Johnny.
Cap. That's gotta be Cap.
Michelle, can you bring up Depp Exhibit 357D as in David? And that is 17:25 to 17:37. I'm going to move the admission, Your Honor.
If she knew the next day that she was gonna file for divorce,
70.
she had the night before the hardcore smoking gun.
And I've been told it.
Baby.
Gold digger.
Baby.
Everyone is.
Baby. Amber, I didn't call you those things. I didn't call you those things.
I'm going to go on now to, can we go to Plaintiff's Exhibit 357E? And this is 21:47 to 22:37. I'm going to move the admission, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
357E. Thank you.
And you're stronger. And so when I say that I thought you could kill me, that doesn't mean you counter with you also that you lost your own finger. I am not trying to attack you here. I'm just trying to point out the fact of why I said call 911. Because you had your hands on me after the phone and my face, and it got crazy in the past, and I truly thought I need to stop this madness before I get hurt.
Oh my God.
And I never think about myself that way. I never defend myself that way. I never see myself as a victim. It's
Alright.
too fault, you know?
Alright, yeah.
And I, when they came, I did not cooperate with them. It has been used against me, not by the media, by your side.
And what are you referring to there?
That I don't want to call myself a victim. I don't like to think of myself as a victim, and I don't want him to think I'm attacking him or blaming him. I'm pointing out I didn't cooperate with the police, that I didn't
What?
want to get him in trouble,
Okay,
that I didn't
come
want
on.
to hurt him.
Come
I
on.
don't want anything from him. Just don't call me a liar. It's all I said. Just don't call me a liar. Just don't say this isn't real. Because I'm the walking proof of it.
I'm going to ask to bring up Plaintiff's Exhibit, Depp Exhibit 357F as in Frank, 24:04 to 24:48, and move the admission.
All right, any objection?
No objection.
All right, 357F.
I have said only this from the very beginning. I only have my integrity. And the unfortunate thing is,
What about mine?
taking it a step further,
What about mine?
they keep taking, that's what it keeps, I'm trying to
Real
say
tears
literally in words. I'm out of my mouth, that's what I'm trying to say to you. Every step of the way, I have said to them, the thing is, they're hurting Johnny by this, because every time that they call me a liar, or they say this is not true, or Stevie, this text message did not actually happen, or that your security guard, which by the way was a follow-up to your security guard thing, they never saw abuse happening. The same security guard who, by the way, have said to me multiple times that I was going to get killed.
Who's recording this? Her or him?
And what are you talking about there, Amber?
That even though Johnny told me
Sounds like him.
that his guards would say whatever he needed them to say,
Cool,
that they were the same guards who had told me that I would lose my life
Objection, Your
this
Honor.
way.
Hearsay.
All right, sustained objection.
It came in through the tape, so that's all right. We're fine. Let's go, Michelle.
Your
let's
Honor.
go to
Yeah, if we could approach, please.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so I want to seem like I'm insensitive and try and be too defensive of what the events that she's talking about. The problem is always like guys. I'm trying to. It's in context. It doesn't make sense though
So
because
can you bring up Depp Exhibit 357G?
her claims sometimes make sense, but her
357G,
motives
and it's
that she claimed before
26:00
don't add up.
to 26 :
They don't add up at all. Not my birthday.
Oh, move the admission. I'm sorry.
All right, any objection?
No objection.
I love you XQC and I love you chat
They're going to have to say they
XQCL.
didn't see it in front of me and other people that have heard them.
You're gonna have to do this under oath too, you know.
I will, because the unfortunate part is, I can talk about all of this.
Do you believe all this, Amber? Do you believe all this?
Oh, yeah, the stuff that yes.
You believe I'm an abuser. You believe I'm an abuser.
For May and December, in April.
What were you referring to with the May, December, and April?
Why would they cut it
Just
off?
listing some of the times in which he beat me up and that he knew about.
So I'm going to take you now fast forward into the July 2016 timeframe. There was a mediation that came about during that time. What, if any, intent did you have to reconcile with Mr. Depp at the time of the mediation?
I wanted there to be no animosity. I wanted to minimize the animosity. I wanted to reconcile in that way. I didn't want to get back together with him, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Right.
Can you just briefly describe what transpired during the July mediation?
That's
cappuccino.
Even though I had a TRO and I wanted to move on with my life, the campaign I mentioned earlier, the smear campaign, the article after article, the hounding me, the, leaking fake.
Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive.
Cross, I think, is
Sustain the objection.
tomorrow.
Please explain. Please
What I
explain.
was meeting with him about is because he had, put these things out in the media. It
Why
seemed
not,
like
though?
every
Objection,
day
Your
there was an
Honor.
I think I'm
Calls
done.
for
Hold up, just
speculation,
checking.
lack of foundation.
All right.
Did
me ask
Mr.
Addie.
Depp discuss with you that he was putting these out in the media?
Objection, leading.
Overruled, I'll allow it.
Yes.
Okay, please explain.
He told me he would tell his team to back off and to back off effectively if I agreed to do certain things. One of which, he wanted me to drop charges. He wanted, or some version of that. He wanted me to get back together with him and go on tour with him in the tour bus. He wanted me to do certain things that I thought were impossible and that would definitely go against all of everything that I stood for and had earned in getting my TRO, getting my restraining order and moving on. But I had to break the TRO in order to beg him to stop the machine, the press machine, because I was feeling like I couldn't live my life. I was being dropped from commercial opportunities.
Oh!
People were turning on me. A campaign I shot dropped
What-
me.
what the fuck?
I had never been inundated with that much press. Every single day, me and my family were, and every witness, anyone who even indirectly supported me got bombarded. And the
Objection.
media campaign.
The absolute irony. This is
Lack of
painful.
foundation.
I'll stay in just the last part of that, all right? Next question.
Okay. We heard Christian Carino testify earlier. Can you describe to the jury what your relationship was with Christian Carino?
He was my commercial agent, meaning he handled things like
Is she trying
campaigns
to be the doctor
for a short amount of
with
time,
this outfit?
and then became Johnny's agent around the time of the divorce. He was a kind of mutual friend at the time.
I'll explain
between
afterwards
Johnny
my
and
thought
I,
about this.
And so he helped us kind of negotiate or mediate a time where we could meet. And my goal in that was to just beg Johnny to stop doing this.
Objection, non-responsive.
Overruled. That's right.
What, if any, desire did you have to
I'm
return
taking
to
some notes.
Mr. Depp after the divorce?
None.
Now, you heard Mr. White testify that he engaged in negotiations with you
Hello,
during the
Chapter,
settlement
Mr.
process of the
I
divorce.
just wanted to say, believe in yourself.
What, if any,
I
discussions
love
did you
Chapter.
have with Mr. White?
XQCL.
None. The first time I saw him was on the testimony screen in the UK during the UK trial. I've never spoken to him.
So he didn't negotiate your settlement?
No, he did not.
What was important to you in the divorce negotiations?
The statement. That was it. The statement. I wanted a mutual statement, and I wanted him to call get the press out of this. Just make a statement, and in that statement, clear my name. I wanted to clear my name. It's all I have.
Addie says,
I said this to him too, and he knew this.
we might not even get
All I
out
have
of
is my
direct today.
name. I come from nothing. All I have is my integrity. All I have is my name. And that's exactly what he promised to take from me.
Why did you agree to accept $7 million as your settlement?
I didn't care about the money. I was told if I didn't agree to a number, that it could be overturned. That this would never actually, it would never get completed, it would never settle.
Objection,
and it would be
hearsay.
overturned.
What was your
Sustained, go ahead.
What was your understanding?
That if I didn't agree to a number, it would be overturned. So I took far less than what they were offering and what I was entitled to.
And
Entitled
why did you
to.
donate it to charity?
I promised the entirety of it to charity because I was never interested in Johnny's money. And in the divorce, I just wanted my safety. I wanted to move on from my life. I wanted my future. And then he started compromising that, calling me a liar, making it impossible for me to move on by doing so. So that I wanted the truth. I wanted him to clear my name and to leave me alone. I've been saying that since 2016.
So why did you donate 3.5 to Children's Hospital
did not.
and 3.5 to ACLU?
She did not.
Well, I pledged the first half, or 3.5,
I
to
pledged.
Children's Hospital because I've been working there as a volunteer for
I pledged.
well over a decade.
Fuck off.
I knew the facility well. I'd worked there with another nonprofit, is how I got affiliated with them, and I knew they could use the resources. I was familiar with it. And
What about the ACLU?
and then
Petter is white.
ACLU because I was a supporter, because I believed in the work they were doing. I believed that they were doing good work for people who deserved it.
Why did you make the donations over a period of time as opposed to just a lump sum?
Two reasons. The short of it is because I was receiving the settlement in installments. I was receiving the installments over time. Second of all, so I could get the tax benefit of paying overtime. You know, it's my understanding that's how you pay these like large sums. You pay it over time.
Did you make any payments towards these donations?
I did.
Okay. Approximately how much?
I allowed for the first installment, which is $100,000 to each. That came straight from Johnny in 2016. I followed up with $350,000 that year, 2016. 2018, I did another. Oh, and I also donated to $250,000 to Art of Elysium, which is the affiliate I was just speaking about, that does the work in the Children's Hospital. It was not going to count towards my overall pledge, but I did that too. And then I did another donation to each in 2018. And then Johnny sued me, 2019.
Before we get to that,
And Johnny what?
Did anyone make
Does that mean you stopped the
donations to
donations?
the Children's Hospital or ACLU on your behalf during that time period?
Yes, Elon also, Elon, who was my boyfriend at the time, had his own charitable contributions that he made. He made $500,000 to both in my honor, in my name, in 2017, I believe.
So she banks the rest.
And have you completely fulfilled your donations to the ACLU and the Children's Hospital?
I have not yet,
And why not?
because Johnny sued me for $50 million in March of 2019. And I have spent over $6 million.
Objection, Your Honor.
No, no,
Motion in limine.
no.
That
When
one
you
was-
stand for something, when you have beliefs, and when you make commitments to those beliefs, you have to go through with them. That's how
How confident
This is how
Tiffany
integrity
sounds now
operates.
when she is
If
telling
you
the
stand
truth.
for something, you have convictions, and you commit to those convictions, you have to go through it while you commit. You can't go back. There isn't fucking conditions to integrity. Integrity goes all the way, or it doesn't at all. You don't get to go halfway through or turn back or change lanes. That's not how it works, dude. It's not. What are you guys saying question mark for? If you say you pledge an amount, they say, this is what I stand for. Don't say, oh, but, what? Then what are the possible but? I don't give a fuck if you got sued for $1 billion fucking dollars. Then don't pledge all you're given. If you want to take a high stance on a high horse and claim all the pride and all the praise from the people and look like you stand tall, that has a price. And she set that price herself. And if something comes up, that is still the price to pay. You don't get to go around and turn around and say, guys, sorry guys, I'm still tall, but guys, bills came in. Sorry, I can't be on my horse anymore, guys. I'm gonna stay down a little bit. We'll be back on the horse later on. That's not how you stand tall when you have convictions. It's why sometimes having certain beliefs are expensive. Yeah, it sounds dumb to say. I get it in our world, but having convictions sometimes is expensive. It has a price, and you don't have to do it. You don't have to be a good person. You don't have to. You don't have to stand for good causes. You don't have to say you're gonna. You don't have to be a good person. You don't have to. But if you say you are, and you say you're gonna do good things, you can't turn back. You know what I look like? You look like a hypocrite. You look like a liar. You look disingenuine. And you lose all the points you'd have gotten in the first place than somebody who doesn't donate shit or stands for nothing. It's why I hate when people act like they stand for something, but they don't. That's why I get mad at people so much. Is that I don't stand for a lot of crazy things. I don't. Because I understand the commitment I have to make to these things. And sometimes, yeah, I say, yeah, guys, I'm a cuckolord, I'm an idiot, I'm a moron. I don't stand for these things. It was like, oh, dude. No, I don't. You can't do it halfway, man. How is it a bad take? You pledge money. You do something. You say, hey, hospital, juicer, fucking charity, people in need, people whatever. I will give you that much. But only if things pan out as I planned them. Otherwise, sorry. No can do. Dude, sorry. I crashed a McLaren down the street. I was going to donate to charity, but dude, I have to pay for the front bumper, dude. It's not going to pan out. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. What the fuck is that? When do you start altering your beliefs because of financials? Then don't commit your financials. It's not that hard, dude. She could have said, I am donating half the money. And boom! She wins half. End of story. Nobody would have blinked a single eye. Nobody would have blinked an eye. Nobody would have said anything.
So going back to that then.
She made a choice. Deal with the consequences. That's how shit works.
In Children's Hospital.
Fuck, man.
No.
Okay. What, if any, intention do you have to fulfill your pledges and donations to these organizations?
I still fully intend to honor all of my pledges. I would love for him to stop suing me so I can.
What, if any, deadlines are there on your pledges and donations to the ACLU?
Oh, I can't. I do.
There
This
are
is
none.
just fucking infuriating.
They understand.
Mr. Cow is right.
Okay.
You go through with
Now,
promises and don't
let's
make
go to
them at
Defendants
all.
Exhibit 1458, which is already admitted. Now, I'm going to just direct your attention to paragraph 27, where it says, neither party has made false accusations for financial gain. There was never any intent of physical or emotional harm. Amber wishes the best for Johnny in the future. What, if any, significance did that have to you?
That was everything to me. That was the most important thing in the separation agreement between us, is that he acknowledged that I hadn't made a single false claim, that my allegations were not false. I thought that just because he signed his name to it, he'd honor it. I mean, he signed his name to it, and I thought it would mean something. Right. He acknowledges that I never did it. I mean, I never made a false claim, and I didn't do it for financial gain. And that's what I was being called at the time, a gold digger and a liar.
Damn, she
You
cares.
can take this down.
So
Michelle,
narcissistic.
and
I'm sorry.
I'm going to
She
now
cares
take
so
you
much.
to post-divorce and your career. Please describe for the jury how your career evolved after the divorce, which I think was final in February 2017.
I had to fight really hard to keep my career. After I got my TRO, I lost opportunities. I got canceled from jobs. I got dropped from campaign I'd shot. I was told I was going to be dropped from.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Same objection.
I fought to keep my job in a movie the biggest movie opportunity I had to date.
Which was what?
It was Justice League with the option to become Aquaman. It later became Aquaman, but I had to fight really hard to stay even in Justice League because that was right around the time of the divorce.
Can you tell the jury
Divorce
what Justice
equals-
League was and what your role was in that?
What?
It is a superhero franchise, DC action film, and it introduced my character, and it provided
Aquaman was dog shit.
the
Stop.
base for the Aquaman spinoff that followed it, but that was not a reality at the time of shooting Justice League.
All right. And then you were able to be in Aquaman, is that correct?
Yes, I kind of showed up to work months early and stayed really late to fight to keep the job. I managed to keep it, and managed slowly to kind of to gain through this kind of hard work and goodwill I was able to foster. I was able to keep and make other jobs, and eventually made a movie called
Road to
Aquaman.
Sexy
and
for Life changed your series on
was
top 3.
very successful. I think it was the most successful DC film by its release, and I was getting my career back, even though it was, it took a major hit when I got my restraining order against Johnny.
So let's talk about Aquaman for a moment. I think you said it was the highest grossing film of DC films, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. When did that
This is
come
ass
out?
cracking.
December of 2018.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
And what was your role in Aquaman?
So no.
I play Mira.
And was that a lead role?
Yes, it is one of the leading roles. It's the female lead opposite Jason Momoa's character of Aquaman.
Who's Mira?
So you
that was a
were
streamer.
his mate?
You could say that, yes. I was his love interest, the female, I was the female lead of the movie.
Okay. So in December of 2018, as Aquaman's coming out, why did you agree to participate in the op-ed?
Well, because I believed in some of the causes that the op-ed was seeking to advance. There was a lot of attention and energy around gender-based issues, gender-based violence issues in general. I had just recently become an ambassador for the ACLU. I was proud of that ambassadorship, and I was looking forward to the opportunity to lend my voice to what I thought was a great cause, which is just a conversation around women's issues and gendered issues that I think the whole country was having at that time, quite a political conversation and cultural conversation at the time, and I was happy to lend my voice if I could.
Who drafted the first draft of the op-ed?
The ACLU.
Did you initially want to include Mr. Depp by name or reference?
No.
Okay.
What were you trying to accomplish by the op-ed?
I was trying to raise awareness around some of the issues that I just mentioned. There was some legislative reform, Title IX being one of them, and there was just a greater cultural conversation being had around gender issues, and I was happy to weigh in on what I saw as the unique
An ambassador.
phenomena that women and typically women experience in our culture when they come forward against somebody more powerful, when they speak up about gender-based violence. And I thought I could lend my voice to that conversation.
Interesting.
I thought I had something to say about that.
Were you trying to boost your sales for Aquaman since it was coming out in that same time frame?
It doesn't work like that. I don't think any op-ed, a major motion picture or major franchise like that is not aided by the publication of an op-ed in the Washington Post. I'll put it that way. But the other way around can be said. I was
That is not true.
wanting to lend my name.
That is
at
not-
specific
that is not
time,
true.
To
You have no
potentially
idea how a
advance
piece
the
of media
causes
can be.
within
It can
the
be.
op-ed.
It's kind of true,
Because
but you have
of
no
your
idea what a
success
piece of
in
media
Mira
can do.
with Aquaman?
There's no
Yeah,
limits
just
to any
the
piece of media.
publicity of the
No,
movie,
there's
the
no limits to any of
success
them.
the movie would
No cap.
hopefully, in best case scenario, only add and lend itself would lend attention to the issues that the op-ed aimed to address.
What did you do once
I
the
like her
ACLU had your agreement to be the spokesperson for the op-ed, to put your name to it?
I sought the advice of my attorney.
And why did you do that?
Well, because I didn't want to get into any sort of legal issue. I didn't want to have any sort of legal problems for talking about what happens to women or people when they come forward and speak about these sorts of issues, especially when they come forward against someone more powerful than them. And that backlash, the retaliation that people face when they come forward is exactly what I was writing about. And I didn't want Johnny to retaliate against me.
She's
and
pandering
quite
so
literally
hard,
prove
it's
my point.
unbelievable. I've never seen it before. She's just
And-
stacking.
And so who was the counsel that you hired?
Underdog
to
pandering, victim
review
pandering,
the
she's
op-ed?
fucking yoinking, dude.
His name was Eric George,
Where is he located?
Los Angeles, California.
How did you know Eric George?
Eric George is the attorney who represented me in a different litigation against the producers of London Fields, the movie I mentioned earlier
I'll tell
about
you
having
later.
a body double and sex scene that I didn't approve of.
What was your understanding of Eric George's experience and skills to be able to review that op-ed for you in the context of your concerns?
Objection, speculation.
I'm asking her understanding.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Did you have knowledge of Eric George's
Notes, take
abilities at that time?
I did. I thought he had an excellent reputation and would give me great advice.
And what, if any, experience? What was your experience with him in representing you earlier?
I thought he was a fantastic attorney, very smart, and I trusted him.
Without going into the content of it, what, if any, of Eric George's advice did you follow in the context of the op-ed?
I took all of his advice. I made all the edits he suggested. I took all of his advice.
And what, if any, of Eric George's advice did you ignore?
None. I mean, he's my lawyer. I listened to him.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
I'm going to ask you if we can pull up, Michelle, Plaintiff's
edits about
Exhibit
what?
1.
Didn't they say that it wasn't about Johnny?
No, this is the online version of the op-ed, and it has this
They're going to ask him cross, I think.
title, Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. What, if any, role did you play in this title?
None.
What, if any, role, to your knowledge, did the ACLU play in this title?
None to my knowledge.
Okay. Are these exact words anywhere in the article?
Then they wouldn't come up with this on their own. No shots.
No. No, they're not.
When did you first become aware of this title being included in the online version of the op-ed?
I think in this litigation is the first time I realized that.
Okay.
Okay, dude.
I'm going to now ask
She
Michelle, can you bring
tweeted
up
it.
Plaintiff's Exhibit
She
2?
tweeted it.
This has also already been admitted into evidence, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Did she not?
And this is the paper version, if you will, of the Washington Post with your editorial. And if you go to the second page, this one has a title, A Transformative Moment for Women. What, if any, role did you play in that title?
Oh, no,
I
she
didn't.
Instagrammed it.
None.
Now, do you recall seeing this version, the newspaper version, at the time?
Yes, this is the version I saw. I'm very proud of it. I had it framed.
You had the newspaper version, not the online?
I did. I had the newspaper framed.
Okay. And now I'm going to ask you to turn to, and Michelle, can we pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit number 3?
It's not confusing. You'll see. Nah, she cooked it already. They already cooked it.
And do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I'm going to move to admit Plaintiff's Exhibit number 3 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right, 3 in evidence. You can
If we could
publish.
publish it to the jury. Thank you. Now, is it fair to say this is a tweet?
Yes, it is.
And can you explain to the jury what a tweet is for those who are not as social media oriented?
A tweet is a posting on a social media network called Twitter.
Okay. Now, did you send this tweet?
I think so. I must have.
Oh,
And what, if
okay,
any,
dude.
control did you have over whether the title given to the op-ed online was included in the tweet?
You don't have control when you're retweeting something. It's my experience that you don't control a title when you're retweeting something. You don't get a chance to re-editorialize someone else's title.
Okay. And at the time you sent this tweet, do you remember even noticing that title?
I do not.
What?
I don't think I even realized it.
Have you ever typed the words from that title?
No, I have not.
Now, I'm going to ask you, let's go back to number 2, plaintiff's 2.
For somebody who's that aware of her social stature
I'm going
and
to
how she's
ask you,
perceived, she saw every
What
word of it,
anything
every single
in this
letter of it.
op-ed was incorrect?
Nothing. Every word of it is true.
And I'm going to direct your attention specifically, and if we can blow this up just a touch, and move up just a touch.
It's not a
Michelle,
retweet?
Kim, so we
Yeah,
get to
you're
then
right.
2 years ago.
That's a quote
Then
tweet.
2 years ago, I became a public figure representing
even, she's just tweeting
domestic
it.
abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out. Was this true or false?
It's true.
What, if anything, did you do about speaking up about domestic abuse 2 years earlier?
Well, I went and got a restraining order against my then husband and walked out to a sea of media and endured to that point 2 years of vitriol from the media and from Johnny Depp supporters. In
They think the jury is not very
I've done
tech
so.
savvy and they won't know.
And I guess you're really answering my next question, which is, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out. Is that what you were referring to?
That's what they're trying to do.
Yes, because at the time, I thought it couldn't be worse. Obviously now from where I sit today, no, it gets a lot worse.
And then, Michelle, if we can move this up a little bit further. Well, actually, that's perfect, Michelle. Then I don't have to use my purple again. Then you said, I had the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse.
What do you mean
Is
by
this
that?
true or false?
True.
Okay, and explain to me what you meant by that and how that was true for you.
I got a restraining order. I had to prove to a judge that I needed one. I had a bruise on my face. I got a restraining order. I showed pictures.
Wait.
I had
So it is about him
proof,
then.
and yet everyone, the media, the studios that both Johnny and I worked for, they were ready to support him. They made statements in support of him. They were ready to
Wait.
fire me.
Objection,
They
Your
attempted
Honor.
to fire me.
Hearsay.
All right, I'll sustain the objection.
What, if anything, did you witness with respect
Sure,
to
said it's about him? No, she did not.
institutions?
Meaning the people that we work for, the institutions we work for, the studios we work for, decision makers in my industry, filmmakers and powerful people and decision makers within my industry whom I had not ever even met, who didn't know anything about what happened behind closed doors in the marriage of Johnny and I, were making comments about me, statements about me. I was dropped from campaigns. It was hard for me to work. I was harassed. I'm harassed on a daily basis.
That's how shit.
Death threats.
I'm sorry.
And just the fact that wasn't there was no parity. The studio and these decision makers and such were so ready to support him and eager to
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
I'll sustain the objection.
Right.
I'm not saying anything. I can't.
So what, if any, ill will or bad intentions did you have or intend against Mr. Depp by assisting in writing, giving your name to this op-ed, and in publishing it?
None. It's not about Johnny. The only one who thought it was about Johnny is Johnny. It's about me. It's about what happened to me after Johnny. It's about what happened to me after I escaped my marriage. It was about me and my life and what I endured once I moved on and got a TRO and moved on with my life. It was about what happened to me after. The only one who made it about him, ironically, is Johnny.
I'm going
What was
to,
that face?
we can
What
take
the
that down,
fuck is
Michelle.
that?
I'm
What
gonna
the fuck was
turn
that?
to Something about electronics and
That was
transparency.
disgusting. What the fuck?
You've testified about, and we've seen photographs. And what, if anything, have you done to cooperate in the
She's so unauthentic.
authentication of all of these things?
Objection, Your Honor. May we approach?
Sure.
So unauthentic. Well, that's the problem. The problem is that I don't want to say she's poking the bear, but something that she says engages in a bigger battle. And you know for a fact it'll be a bigger battle. Chat, don't deny it. Don't deny it. A thing like that engages in a bigger battle, and it will be a bigger battle. Her saying that, oh, there are repercussions.
I'm going to turn to
That's what a bigger battle does.
You have made a counterclaim against Mr.
You can't be
Depp in
surprised that
this
it's
case,
happening or
correct?
blame it. You know what's
That's
going to happen.
correct. And it's based on 3 statements that Mr. Adam Waldman, Mr. Depp's attorney, made, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to ask if you can pull up Defendants Exhibit 245. But, Your Honor, I'm going to ask, do we have...
I'll tell you about it later.
It's already in evidence.
Your Honor, if I may approach, if we may approach
Okay,
just
sure.
real quickly, because I think we can move this along faster if we do this
But I
ahead of
suppose
time.
this is a great way to appear innocent by using fake confidence about details to sound
Okay.
credible about lies.
Yeah, for jury stuff that matters, usually in police investigations that they see through it. Okay, dude, listen guys, what I'm trying to tell you, okay, what I'm trying to tell you, chat, is that it is undeniable, right, that everybody knows that whatever she did with the op-ed has a next move, right? No way that they were thinking, oh, we're gonna post the op-ed, we're gonna get nice public perception, and in a story, nobody's gonna say anything, and everybody's gonna move on. You know for a fact that after it happens, something bigger is going to happen, right? A bigger echo, a bigger battle. You know for a fact that it'll happen. Therefore, by knowing that, you can't blame what having a bigger battle entices. What does it have? What does it do? What is having a bigger battle? There will be paparazzis. There will be people that judge. There will be people that are being weird. There are going to be some weird hecklers and bystanders. There will be weird press. You know that will happen. So by doing something intentionally and saying, oh my God, would you look at all the paparazzi and the weirdos? Oh my God. That's so disingenuous. I know it's bad and it shouldn't happen. I know it's bad and it hurts to have weird comments and death threats. It should never happen. I don't condone that at all. But this is a logical conclusion, unfortunately these days, to having a bigger battle escalate from an earlier juicer. So then, I feel like doing that and saying, oh my God, this is happening. It's kind of like the Vine ping pong. It's kind of it's guys. It's a little bit like this. It's a little bit like this. No, boom, post op-ed. People go wild, go crazy. Boom, and that is just how things function. So saying that it's happening, I think, is just kind of irrelevant, because you knew ahead of time it would be like that. Okay. Therefore, it's in everybody's best interest that some things go a certain way, or you I don't know, you have to be very, very stoic and stern and fucking tank a little bit. That's just kind of how it is.
Okay, we're going to start by bringing
It
up
shouldn't be like that, but it is.
Defendants
Sorry, I don't want to be cold
1245.
or weird about it, but
All right, and moving that into evidence, no objection, 1245 in evidence.
Thank you, Your Honor. And this is an article that was in the Daily Mail.
If you jump in the front lines,
On
you
8th
have to
April
think, I'm going to have to
2020.
tank.
You see that? And then, Michelle, if you can move that to the next page, and perfect.
My God,
It says-
Jesus.
Adam Waldman, Depp's lawyer, said afterwards, Amber Heard and her friends in the media use fake sexual violence allegations as both a sword and a shield, depending on their needs. They have selected some of her sexual violence hoax facts as the sword, inflicting them on the public and Mr. Depp. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
Is this a true or a false statement?
False.
And why is it false?
Laughing strats among us.
You have to use what I've lived through and
You're kidding, right?
and what I've survived, calling it fake, saying that I'm harming Johnny with this, I'm harming the public with this. This is what I've lived through, and to say that it's a hoax, that these aren't even real things. I mean, after everything I've lived through and survived, and also I hadn't even spoken about the sexual abuse within my marriage. I had been protected.
Guys, what's happening? Is it only me? Is it only me or what?
Of that. I didn't want to talk about that ever. I don't know.
Guys, what the fuck's going on? Guys, it's not me.
After everything I've lived through and survived, and also I hadn't even spoken about the sexual abuse within my marriage. I had been protective of that. I didn't want to talk about that ever. Adam Waldman was the one who put that out in the world. As remarkable as that is, I protected that. I had to go to another country to give testimony, and thankfully they allowed me to do so with confidentiality and some protection. And then Johnny, through his lawyer, not only uses that against me, but says it's a hoax.
Thank you. Now I'm going to ask if we can bring up, and it's going to be 1246A. I think I'm moving this into evidence as well.
There's no objections. 1246A is in evidence. You can finish.
And this is an article that was published on the 28th of April, 2020. And Michelle, if we can, thank you. And this one says, Depp's lawyer, Adam Waldman, said, quite simply, this was an ambush, a hoax. They set Mr. Depp up by calling the cops. But the first attempt didn't do the trick. He told dailymail.com. And let's keep going.
I mean, it's all black. Let's keep going to what? Let's keep going to what? We're not going to keep going. We're going to jump
So Amber and her
3
friends
fucking
spilled a
paragraphs.
little wine and roughed the place up. Got their story straight under the direction of a lawyer and a publicist, and then placed a second call to 911. Do you see that?
Yes.
Is that true or false?
Couldn't be more false.
And what?
Yo, what the fuck? Give me the other broadcast.
Every part of it is false. I didn't call
Give me that one. Give me that one. Yoink, 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 yoink. Fast.
911.
Not my internet.
I didn't
not
call
my
the
internet.
police. I refused to cooperate with them to protect Johnny. I protected Johnny. I didn't call them once, and I didn't call them twice. I didn't rough up the place. I cleaned up the place. I didn't even know the second cops were coming. I didn't call the police. If I wanted to, I refused to cooperate with them to protect Johnny. I protected Johnny. I didn't call them once, and I didn't call them twice. I didn't rough up the place. I cleaned up the place. I didn't even know the second cops were coming. If I wanted to get something from him, I wanted to hoax Johnny, why wouldn't I cooperate with the police? Wouldn't I say something to the police? Wouldn't I do more damage to the house and than just knock over the things that you saw pictures of? It makes no sense. And to do it online when there's no fact checking, there's no...
It's still lagging.
I can't fight this and use these sorts of media leaks and these
Guys, we can't do
comments
it.
to re-echo over and over and over again online with a
It's not me.
network of people that are intent on helping Johnny through a sophisticated PR machine. to
Objection,
echo
Your
this
Honor.
abuse at me
Hearsay,
over and over.
speculation.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
All right, and so what in fact
Guys, what was happening?
did you do that night?
I cleaned
Guys, is it only me lagging or is other people lagging as well?
up. I protected Johnny. I refused to cooperate
I'll just
with the
refresh.
police, like so many other people do. I tried really hard to keep it private even after that, even when I was committed to filing for a
It's them,
divorce.
it's them, it's them, it's them.
I tried to protect Johnny. I tried to protect the history of what we had. I tried to protect him. And did the opposite. And I didn't even have a lawyer. I didn't call my publicist. I called my contract attorney to get me another lawyer who could give me advice on how to protect Johnny. Every bit of this was to protect Johnny and to protect the secret that I had fought really hard to keep for nearly 5 years, which was that behind closed doors,
Not me.
things were not what it looked like.
Okay. Michelle, can you take this one down and go to Defendants 1247, please? And Your Honor, I'll move the admission.
All right. I know there's no objection, 1247 in evidence.
And Amber, this is another daily, a Mail Online, and this is published on 24 June, updated
Daily
on
Mail.
25 June 2020.
Daily black block. Like, what the fuck is this? We can't say
We
anything.
can go
Oh my god. Oh,
further.
not even a full sentence.
This one says,
We get.
Depp's attorney, Adam Waldman, said, "We have reached the beginning of the end of Ms. Heard's abuse hoax against Johnny Depp." Is this true or false?
False.
And why is it false?
Because unfortunately, all of this is real. And what I mentioned earlier about how preposterous it would have to be for this to be this elaborate hoax, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't fathom one day that that would actually be legitimately the position that he, through a lawyer, would take, albeit online, where he could get away with it for some
Objection.
time.
Calls for speculation.
Sustain the objection.
And why is this so absurd?
Because Johnny and I lived this. We lived through this. I lived through this, and I narrowly survived it. But I survived it. And, I have mountains
Narrowly.
of
What?
evidence, mountains of proof, and yet it won't be good enough for people who are seeking to make money off of Johnny's success.
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for speculation.
I'll sustain the
That's
objection.
fine. Okay. So I'm going to take you now to the damages that you've suffered as a result of these statements by Mr. Waldman on Mr. Depp's behalf. Please tell the jury how you were doing reputationally.
Objection. That's a legal conclusion, Your Honor.
I'm
We
sorry.
move to strike counsel's testimony.
Come forward.
Jesus. Well, I think she needs to choose her words carefully. I'm just gonna feel bad if she's using some of these words that are pretty strong, like narrowly survived. When imagine I don't know. I would imagine like real survivors, people who narrowly escaped some of their abusive relations or situations, must feel watching this like their whole experience is like diminished or whatever by something that is. I think from what
From
I've
the record,
seen,
we'll
not
disregard that question. All right, your
narrowly
next
or whatever.
question.
What was your understanding on whose behalf Mr. Waldman was making those three statements?
Objection. Lack of foundation. Calls for speculation.
If you want to approach again, that's not what we just said here. I just want.
Who's yelling in the back, man? Well, I mean, you have to be careful because at the same time, she says she's an ambassador, right? And as an ambassador, I mean, you not only are part, but you represent those people, and it's like I don't know.
So we'll move forward to my other question.
It's not fair for them. I don't know.
How were you,
kinda
please tell the jury, how were you doing reputationally before these three statements were made, beginning April 2020? April 8 was the first
Is
of
that the
them.
video?
Objection, Your Honor. I'm going to object on lack of foundation.
She can talk about her reputation.
Overruled all that.
Nobody's home.
It took hard work. it took a lot of hard work on my part, but I was able to work, get my life back on track. I was taking care of myself emotionally. My career, I was working really hard. I was able to star in a major success. I worked on a TV series that I had been attached to for a very long time. I became an ambassador for several nonprofits that I deeply care about. I was doing
You want me to go to ET first for a little bit?
It felt really good to be doing the social work and the charity work that I was doing. And I was also filming and working and planning on, I was awaiting a schedule from Warner Brothers for Aquaman 2, the sequel. And I had wrapped on that TV series I mentioned, and I was awaiting to start doing publicity for it to promote it. And I had and a script for that. Feeling concerned that I wouldn't have enough time to grieve before having to get back into work. I had a press schedule to promote the TV series I was doing, and I was shooting things for this
When
beauty brand.
the one is fixed, tell me.
I remember at that time the beauty brand had to suspend posting what I just shot for them because they were getting bombarded.
Objection, Your Honor. This is hearsay.
Sustain the objection.
Okay. All right.
They said no. I mean, they suspended what I had shot.
Objection, Your Honor.
She can testify to that, Your Honor. She has to be able to testify.
I'll sustain the objection.
Okay. Were you actively involved in campaigns for L'Oreal before these articles?
I was.
Were you actively involved in campaigns
Finger
with
on the
L'Oreal
buzzer.
after these articles?
No.
Were you with The Stand? You were talking about the TV series. That was The Stand, correct?
Yes, the TV series that I had already completed.
All right. And were you actively involved in publicity for The Stand prior to these articles?
Yes, I was.
Were you actively involved in the publicity after
Family
these
Feud
articles?
contestant.
No, shoots were canceled. Things were canceled.
With respect to Aquaman 1, Aquaman 2, you'd already starred in Aquaman 1, right? Just so and they called it Aquaman at that time, but now there's an Aquaman 2, just right for...
That's correct.
Okay. So were you actively scheduling timing for filming and scripts for Aquaman 2 before these articles?
Yes, I was.
Were you actively scheduling after these articles?
No. The communications stopped at that point.
All right. I'm going to... Michelle, can you bring up Defendants Exhibit 1258?
So is she gonna sue herself for defamation?
I'm going to show you what has been marked as Defendants Exhibit 1258. It's dated September 21, 2015.
Is that how it
Do
works?
you recognize this document?
Yes.
Okay.
Because she agrees that it fucked her
the
over.
Justice League
But then
Aquaman contract.
means it also fucks him
Your Honor,
over.
I'm going to move the admission of
She agrees to
Defendants
that.
Exhibit 1258.
Any objection?
Yes, Your Honor. May we
Oh,
approach?
sure.
I'm confused, chat. Guys, she just testified under oath that her own op-ed smoked her. Which logically means that it also smokes him. I don't know. Is it not something? I'm confused. They fix the stream?
Do you recognize this document?
See, I hate to say it, but it's a little bit like this. Unfortunately, is why it's hard to be an ambassador, because you don't have to be only a representative or a participant or a member of something. An ambassador, you have to be like a strong piece of a certain movement or whatever. And whenever your testimony has cracks in it and a bit of hypocrisy, a bit of whatever, right? Then unfortunately, you can't be an ambassador. I'm sorry. This is how it works. So an ambassador has to be crackless,
She just
no
too
cracks.
hard.
Otherwise,
She blamed it so
otherwise
much
your
on Depp
opposition,
and her loyal
people that want to
ass
discredit your
refers
movement,
to speaking
will
out
make
was.
those
She
cracks
said
and
Jeffrey
widen them
Epstein
as
was
hard as
Jones.
they can,
She's
and
just
and
included his name in
discredit your movement as much as they possibly can, because that's what they're gonna do. It's why being an ambassador is so hard, but it's why, because sometimes she says she's an ambassador, but you know, some of the things that happen literally make her unfit to be an ambassador. And that sucks for the people that depend on these movements. The people that are overwhelming victims of certain systems, of certain problems. They get fucked over by having these kinds of ambassadors. They get rolled by this.
So, Amber, can you explain to me how the contract structure was for Justice League? How that options, contract structure was for Justice League and options?
Structured like
just explain to the jury, please.
It's structured like a 3-picture option. I signed on to do Justice League, where my character was introduced. The fee is, small relative to what it will become if and when you do the other options or movies in that under that umbrella. So it was the contract for Justice League, which could then become Justice League 2, or it could be Aquaman, or it could be some other movie within the DC universe. And the second picture ended up being Aquaman. And then the third picture, Aquaman 2. Each time the fee goes up, but...
Objection, Your Honor. This calls for speculation, lack of foundation.
Overruled out loud.
Overruled.
As far as the contract is concerned, that's what the contract says.
All right. And if we go to page 6, so what was your fee going to be for Aquaman? And what was it for Aquaman?
Oh yeah.
$1 million.
Okay, and then was there also box office bonuses, opportunities?
Yes, I believe.
Okay.
Yes, there are box office bonuses. If it makes a certain amount in the box office, you get a bonus.
Okay. And it says picture number 2. At the time you entered into the contract with on Justice League, did they know what the picture would be?
No, as I mentioned before, when you do the contract...
Objection calls for speculation.
All right, I'll sustain that objection.
That's literally 4 minutes of spinning.
So ultimately, what was picture number 2?
Aquaman.
All right. And then what was it for picture number 3?
Aquaman 2.
Okay. And what was the fee under the option agreement at that time?
$2 million.
Okay. Now, did you have contracts with L'Oreal?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And can you just describe for the jury what was involved with L'Oreal? You talked about being involved in campaigns and then not. Just explain that to them if you can.
As a spokesperson, I'm just involved with the brand as a representative, and a certain amount of commitment you have to do throughout the year on social media and on red carpets promoting various products or causes they're advancing. Generally, it's just like a brand ambassadorship.
Okay. And did you, let's pull up 1262. And this is dated as of April 25, 2018, correct?
That's correct.
Was that your first contract with L'Oreal?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. And was that for a term, a specific term?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Was it for 2 years?
Yes, it says 2-year contract, and that sounds right.
All right. And then I'm going to ask you to turn to 1264.
Guys, this is like
And that's
the
April
trial,
20,
but in reverse.
2020. And what, if anything, did L'Oreal do with regard to extending your contract then?
They extended it.
because-
They chose to extend it with the option to kind of...
These are defamation specifics that they're
And did
telling
they
about
extend it
herself.
just an additional 3 months? If you
that,
look at paragraph 1.
let's see.
What is this chat doing, man?
Yes, they did.
Okay. And what, if any, work did you do for L'Oreal after these 3 statements were made?
I have only been able to participate in, I believe, 1 live event that they also couldn't promote or use the material from because of...
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for speculation and hearsay.
Sustain the objection.
Okay. Now let's go to 1265. And this is, as of November 15, 2021, this is another extension with L'Oreal, correct?
Yes, it is.
And if you look at the second option term under paragraph 1, it's an extension of 20 months, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And what, if any, work have you been able to do for L'Oreal since this contract?
As I stated, I believe I've only done 1 in-person event with them, and they couldn't use the material.
Okay. Now,
That's also speculation.
Let's talk
I
about
mean-
the stand for a minute. Let's pull up 1263.
They're cheating or whatever. So she didn't get
And
dropped.
this is dated July 3, 2019. And I believe you indicated that you had already filmed it by the time these statements were made in April and June of 2020. Is that correct?
That's correct.
I mean, it is cheating.
And
It
what,
is.
if any, marketing opportunities were you participating in prior to those articles?
We had appearances, talk show, press, the normal kind of group cast press junket, promotional material, photo shoot, and I had various publicity engagements lined up, like a magazine cover, that sort of thing, to promote the film. To promote the series.
And what, if anything, were you able to do with marketing opportunities after the 3 articles were published?
None.
What, if any, covers were you on after that for the stand?
They pulled the offer for that, so none.
Okay.
Okay.
And while we're on this agreement, if you look at the second page, how much were you paid for the stand? It's at 6C.
Oh,
200,000.
$200,000 an episode.
Okay. Now let's pull up Defendants Exhibit 1266. Have you been able to get any work since that time?
I have done 1 small independent film.
Okay, and tell the jury what that is.
I shot a film in Guatemala. It's a small independent, meaning it doesn't have distribution or, it doesn't have distribution or anything. It's a lower budget film that I had been attached to for many years called Into the Fire.
Okay. And 1266 has, as of January 13, 2022. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, when did you actually film for this in Guatemala?
March. I believe it was March of this year.
Okay. And do you recall what your compensation was for that?
I don't off the top of my head, I'm
If
sorry.
you can look at ALH 17628, it's paragraph 6A.
Oh, 65,000.
Okay. And have you participated in Aquaman 2?
I have.
And tell us about that.
I had to I fought really hard to stay in the movie. They didn't want to include me in the film.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Sustain the objection.
Okay.
That's literally a bad doghouse
Did you
bonus.
were you ultimately able to get to film in Aquaman 2?
A very pared down version of that role, yes.
Okay. What, if anything, changed in the script?
They took away a lot of...
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
I think she can
Lack
testify.
of foundation.
Overruled as to the script.
Go ahead.
I was given a script, and then given
I'm just
new
kidding.
versions of the script that had taken away scenes that had action in it, that depicted my character and another character, without giving any spoilers away. You know, they're two characters fighting with one another, and they basically took a bunch out of my role. They just removed a bunch out.
And what, if any, leverage did
Speculation.
you have to negotiate a higher salary beyond the $2 million?
Objection, speculation.
What, if any
It's all
effort did
speculative.
you make to negotiate a higher salary for your participation?
I couldn't renegotiate my contract.
And why not?
Objection, this calls for hearsay and speculation.
Do you know why?
It's still the same objections, Your Honor.
I'll sustain the objection.
I mean, this is about as speculative
right.
as it gets. On top of it being
I'm going
probably
to
behind
ask you
NDAs.
to describe to this jury the emotional impact on you of these three statements that we have talked about, these three counterclaim statements. Please describe how this has impacted you.
These statements are used over and over and over and over again online to reverberate, re-echo, and re-energize.
Objection, Your Honor, this is not responsive, lack of foundation, and hearsay.
She gets to give her consent for it.
Well, the question was your emotional impact of these statements.
Okay.
The impact it has on me is every time I look at it, which is every day. I am set back. I have to relive it. I have to have the worst, most painful things I've ever gone through, painful memories I've ever had, the things I've narrowly survived at times, embarrassing, intimate details that I never wanted to be known, never wanted to be public ever, and to have them used every single day to call me a liar. I have to relive this every single day that I have to address those
Oh,
claims.
come on, dude.
Over and over again, the most intimate, embarrassing, deeply humiliating and personal things that I've survived are used against me every day. Over and over again. It's torture.
She wrote it,
It's
thought about
so
it,
much pain,
edited it,
emotionally.
manipulated it, and then tweeted about it, and
I'm
Instagrammed
just-
it. What the fuck?
Wanted him to leave me alone. I wanted to move on with my life. And he won't let me. By making statements like this, he won't let me. I have to be here today. I have to be reliving it every single time. He, with these statements, with these leaks, these comments, once again, makes me have to speak to the most horrifying things I have lived through. It's torture. It's torturous. Why don't you have to do that? I want to move on with my life. I have a baby. I want to move on. I want to move on. I want Johnny to move on too.
Okay, that's
I want him to leave me alone.
that's a mega ult.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
That's a mega.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's probably a good time to go ahead and take our afternoon recess based on that. So go ahead and do not discuss the case and don't do any outside research, okay? We'll see you in 15 minutes, okay? Thank you.
Okay.
Please, court is still in session. I need it to be quiet in the gallery. Thank you.
I'm not standing up. Mega point. Nah, it might. So her direct might bleed into tomorrow, and probably even the whole day. Tomorrow too.
Why don't we just make it 3:25 then? We'll come back at 3:25.
What? Her direct will be all the way to today. No further questions? Wait, is that what they said? They said no further questions? Wait a minute. Hey, Addy, they said no more questions. Does that mean cross? Well, nah, it couldn't be, right? No, I don't think they can, chat. Because I think they need to have like a whole day before they can switch the cross, right? Can they switch the cross dynamically in the same day? Back to back? Absolutely no shot. They can. I had no idea that's how it worked. Finally. Holy, this is about to get spicy, I'm telling you. This is gonna go hard, chat. It's gonna go hard, I'm telling you now. They're all smiling on the right side. I ain't gonna stand for shit today, man. What is she wearing? You know what she's wearing, right?
All right. Thank you. All right. Be seated. Cross-examination.
Cross-exam. There you go. Not this. Not that. I told you be cross.
Good afternoon, Ms. Heard.
Good afternoon.
Okay, boys.
Mr. Depp hasn't looked at you once this entire trial, has he?
Not that I've noticed, no.
You've looked at him, though, many times, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
You know exactly why Mr. Depp won't look back at you, don't you?
I do.
He promised you you would never see his eyes again. Isn't that true?
I don't recall if he said that.
One of the last times you ever saw Mr. Depp was when you met him in San Francisco in July of 2016, right?
That was the second to last time I saw him, yes.
And this was after you had publicly accused him of domestic violence.
I got my restraining order before that, yes. Mm-hmm.
And this is after you had obtained the domestic violence restraining order against him.
That's correct.
Let's please play Plaintiff's Exhibit 1229. For the record, it's at 1101 through 1209. I'm going to ask that it be admitted into evidence.
Any objection to 1229?
Guys, she's been pretty jumpy earlier.
Yes.
So I hope this isn't
All right,
better in the ass, but she's...
1229, you want to enter it in its entirety?
Yes, please.
Okay. 1229 entered in its entirety. Go ahead and play your section.
I don't understand. Is this what you want?
No. Oh no, a hug will save it all.
I
All this, everything we
I just wanted to touch you.
Really? After all this shit you just said?
I just wanted to give
After
you
all
a
this
hug.
shit you fucking accused me of? You want to touch me?
Please stop me.
Fucking
Please stop.
fucking nuts.
Please, I just wanted to hug you to say bye. I wanted to take it back.
We did that last night. It's fine. That was good enough. No, because I'm nothing to you, and I will always be nothing to you.
Calm. Calm.
Well, you're not my shrink.
Your hands are hard. Please just hold my heart.
No, deal with your own fucking heart. No, we'll never see each other again. You won't neck. Don't take my fucking glasses off. You don't like fucking looking at not my fucking eyes? You will not see my eyes again.
That's you and Mr. Depp in that recording.
That is.
And this is from when you and Mr. Depp met in San Francisco in July of 2016, right?
Yes, that's what it sounds like. That was in the hotel. We met once after that as well.
This is after you publicly accused him of domestic abuse.
Yes, and got my TRO.
And he tells you you will not see my eyes again, doesn't he?
Yes, he does in that recording.
And he kept that promise, hasn't he?
As far as I know, he cannot look at me.
He won't look at you, right, Miss Heard?
He can't.
One of the first questions your counsel asked you on direct is, why are you here? Do you remember that?
What does that
I
mean?
do.
Let's please play Plaintiff Exhibit 357A, which is already in evidence, Your Honor. And for the record, it's 2122 through 2140.
Right, and see what the jury and judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence, and
Yes.
it's a fair fight. And see how many people believe or side with you.
That's your voice on that recording, right?
Yes, it is.
And you were speaking with Mr. Depp?
Yes.
And you said to Mr. Depp, quote, you can please tell people that it was a fair fight and see what the jury and the judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them, Johnny Depp, Johnny Depp, a man, a victim too of domestic violence, end quote. That's what you said, right?
I was saying it to the man who beat me up, yes. I thought it was preposterous.
And the man you beat up numerous times. Right, Ms. Heard?
I could never hurt Johnny.
You're here in this courtroom because Mr. Depp finally told the world that he is a victim of domestic violence.
Jesus.
I know that he is suing me and has sued other people or corporations that have said that as well.
You didn't think he would tell the world he was a victim of domestic violence, did you?
I found it hard to believe that he could or that he would do that, considering the relationship he and I had. I thought it would be crazy for him to do so, knowing what I know we lived through.
Or, as you said to him in that recording, who was going to believe that Johnny Depp, a man, is a victim of domestic violence, right?
With all due respect, I wasn't saying it because he's a man. I was saying it because he was a man who beat me up for 5 years.
Mr. Depp is your victim, isn't he?
No, ma'am.
And once he left you, you continued to abuse him publicly by calling him an abuser, didn't you?
He is an abuser, and you can look either of us up online and figure out who's being abused online.
Let's look at some of that. Mr. Depp wears rings on every finger, doesn't he, Ms. Heard?
Ooh,
That's my experience,
I
yes.
knew.
And they're not delicate rings, are they?
No.
I knew
they
this
are
was
not.
gonna come.
Every one of his fingers is adorned, your words, big, chunky rings. Isn't that right?
That's my experience of him.
And Mr. Depp is always wearing rings, right, Ms. Heard?
That's my experience of him.
And you've never known him not to wear these rings.
That's my experience, is he normally wore rings, yes.
So Mr. Depp was wearing these big, chunky rings on every finger, every incident of abuse you've described to this jury, right?
I can't say for certain it was in every single incident.
But you've never known him not to wear rings, right?
In general, my experience with Johnny is that he wears rings almost all the time.
Ms. Heard, do you recall giving testimony in a deposition in this matter in January of this year?
I do.
Oh, she
Please
slammed.
play
Guys,
from your deposition, day 2, 512, page 512, lines 11 through 15.
Jesus.
You said he hit you and he was wearing rings, right, Ms. Heard? So he hit you with rings on every finger?
I don't know if I've ever known Johnny to not wear rings.
Yeah.
Ms. Heard, you testified to an incident in March of 2013 where Mr. Depp hit you in the face multiple times. Do you recall that?
That's correct.
And you testified, quote, you don't know how many times he hit you in the face.
That's correct.
So Mr. Depp hit you in the face multiple times while he was wearing rings on this occasion, correct?
Which occasion in March are you referencing? You weren't
The
specific.
testimony that you gave on day 15 of this trial, March of 2013. You weren't specific as to the day.
There were several incidents.
The one where he hit you several times in the face.
There were sorry, just so I understand better, there were several incidents in March. Which one are you asking me about?
The time that he hit you several times in the face wearing rings.
Well, he pretty much
March of
always...
2013.
Right. What are you asking me? I'm sorry.
He was wearing rings on that occasion?
I pretty much always knew him to wear rings.
Okay, let's please pull up Defendants Exhibit 170.
Then I need to do that.
Which is already in evidence,
They
Your Honor.
prepared pretty well for this, at least the entrance or the intro.
You testified that this is a picture you took after that incident, right, Ms. Heard?
Yes, that was one where he grabbed me.
No, I mean like...
And hit you in the face so many times
Talk
that
about
you
later.
don't remember. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
And there's no injuries to your face in this picture, are there?
Not that this picture shows.
And there's no medical records reflecting that you sought treatment after this alleged incident either.
I did not seek medical treatment at this time.
So there's no medical records reflecting any injuries to your face after he hit you several times,
I did not need to go to the doctor at the time.
despite hitting you several times that you lost count with rings on on his fingers.
That's correct. I did not seek medical attention, other than my therapist.
You testified to another incident in March of 2013 where Mr. Depp hit you while he was wearing a lot of rings. Do you remember that testimony?
Yes, ma'am.
And you testified you felt like your lip went through your teeth and it got a little blood on the wall.
Yes, I remember that.
There isn't a picture of you with injuries after that alleged incident, is there?
I don't know if I've seen one. I can't recall. There are a lot of pictures.
You didn't produce any photographs after that alleged incident, did you, Ms.
I don't know if I took one or if it's included. I'm not quite sure which ones.
You didn't show any pictures to this jury after describing that alleged incident, that your
shit you can't
teeth, your lip went into your teeth. You don't remember that, right? You didn't show any pictures to this jury after describing that incident, right?
Jesus.
I don't believe I've seen that picture admitted.
That'd be her
That
job.
picture doesn't exist.
I don't know which one you're talking about. We have pictures from March 2013, yes.
The only picture that you've produced and shown to this jury is the one that was just put up on the screen, where you said he hit you multiple times in the face, and you appear to have what is a bruise on your arm, correct?
I believe this is the only picture that's in evidence right now.
That's the only picture you've shown to this jury from March 2013, correct?
I believe so.
You testified about an incident in Russia on or about June 26, 2013. Do you remember that?
Yes, that's correct.
You testified that Mr. Depp, quote, whacked you in the face.
That's correct.
And you went to the bathroom after that, right?
I did.
And then, according to your testimony, when you came out of the bathroom, Jerry Judge, Mr. Depp's security guard, who's passed away, pointed out that your nose was bleeding, right?
He did that in the hallway.
And you said you hadn't known that your nose was bleeding until Jerry Judge pointed it out to you?
Yes, that's correct. I was unaware until he brought it up to me. I didn't see it when I was in the bathroom, but I wasn't looking.
So it's your testimony that you went into the bathroom and didn't look in the mirror, which I assume was in the bathroom, to notice that your nose is bleeding?
That's not why I went into the bathroom. I went into the bathroom crying. I don't even know if I paid attention to the mirror. I certainly didn't enough to notice any blood.
And you didn't take any pictures of your bloody nose either, did you?
I did not.
But pictures were taken of you in Russia, though. Isn't that correct?
Yes, that's correct. We had a press or a dinner.
She's getting smoked pretty
Let's
hard.
please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1248. Ms. Heard, this is a picture of you and Mr. Depp in Russia, correct?
That's correct.
Show me.
I'm going to move to admit.
All right, no objection. 1248 in evidence. You can publish.
This is not the hardest part.
And this is you and Mr. Depp in Russia for the Lone Ranger premiere, correct?
It was a dinner function, I believe, in promotion of the movie. Wasn't the premiere, if I recall.
You don't have any visible injuries to your face, do you?
None that you can see.
Let's look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 1249.
Because she's using the magical hashtag ad quadruple quadrant concealer
This is a
bruise
picture
maker.
of you, isn't it right?
That's correct.
I'm going to move to admit exhibit 1249.
All right, 1249 in
That's
evidence.
crazy.
This is also a picture from when you were in Russia for the Lone Ranger premiere, right?
That is correct.
And you have no visible injuries to your face, do you?
None that you can see.
Even though Mr. Depp whacked you in the face so hard that your nose bled
He did.
No swelling.
while wearing chunky big rings, right?
That's correct.
Jesus, silence in a courtroom. Jesus.
You also testify that Mr. Depp, again, whacked you in the face after the Met Gala in May of 2014, right?
That is correct.
You testified that you thought he hit you so hard he broke your nose.
That's correct.
You said your nose was, quote, swollen, discolored, red.
That is correct. I took a picture of that.
You testified you took a picture of your face after this.
I did.
But you didn't show that picture to the jury, did you?
I would like to.
But you didn't show it, did you?
That's not up to me.
You can't say that.
You understand you were under an obligation to produce all photographs after
It's
any
just
alleged incident
throw her
of
loads under the
violence,
bus.
right, Ms. Heard?
I produced everything.
You didn't produce any photographs after the Met Gala.
I produced everything.
You also understand that you're under an obligation to produce all medical records reflecting any injuries you allegedly sustained from Mr. Depp, correct?
That's correct.
And you haven't produced any pictures or any medical records reflecting a broken nose after the Met Gala in May of 2014, have you?
I have given everything to my lawyers. Everything. I've turned over literally everything that I have.
Is it your testimony, Ms. Heard, that you sought medical treatment after Mr. Depp allegedly broke your nose after the Met Gala?
Not after the Met Gala. I did not seek medical attention.
What is
no.
his defense?
You also attended an event after the Met Gala in May of 2014, didn't you?
That is correct.
And you went to the all-star comedy tribute to Don Rickles.
That is correct.
That was the next night after the Met Gala.
That is correct.
And there were pictures of you taken at this event.
Yes.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1252.
Wait, chat. What does that do
This is
for
a
her?
picture of
if
you,
she
Ms.
keeps
Heard?
doing that.
Yes, it is.
At that event,
Yes, it is.
the night after the Met Gala,
Yes, it is.
the night after Mr. Depp allegedly broke your nose.
I'm not sure if it was broken, for the record, but yeah, you should see what it looked like underneath the makeup.
He whacked you so hard in the face that you thought you had broken your nose.
Exactly.
Right. Permission
What
to
is this
admit the
backtrack?
photograph.
All right, 1252 in evidence.
This is a picture of you, Mr. Depp, and Don Rickles, right?
That is correct.
It's literally caught in the 180p. Can we please
Let's
zoom
please
in?
pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1253.
Can we zoom, sucker?
This is another picture from that evening, right, Ms. Heard?
Yes, it is.
Permission to admit Exhibit 1253 and publish it.
All right, so moved. 1253 in evidence.
Dud?
This is a picture of you and Mr. Depp at the event the night after Mr. Depp allegedly whacked you in the face so hard you thought he had broken your nose.
He did whack me in the face, and I did think it broke my nose.
And this is you the night after.
Yes, it is.
You guys, I believe her. She just healed
Let's
it.
please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1254.
She took a potion.
This is also a picture of you at the same event, correct, Ms. Heard?
That is correct.
Move to admit Plaintiff's Exhibit 1254.
All right, 1254 in evidence. You can publish. Thank you.
And just to confirm now that the jury can see it, this is a picture of you at the same event, the night after Mr. Depp allegedly whacked you in the face so hard you thought he broke your nose.
This is a picture of me after he did whack me in the face.
The night after, right?
Yes, it is. I believe it was the night after,
Dude,
yes.
why is she trying to save face to the jury by looking at him while answering
Your
his
nose
question?
doesn't appear to be injured in any of these pictures, does it, Ms. Heard?
I'm wearing makeup.
Your nose doesn't appear to be injured in any of these pictures, does it, Miss Heard?
You're supposed to? Yeah,
That's why I'm wearing makeup.
Right. And makeup covers up swelling, right?
Makeup will not cover up swelling. Ice will, though.
Ice will cover up swelling?
Ice.
Ice reduces swelling.
Yeah,
Normally the swelling
temporarily?
after that kind of injury is not as bad as you might imagine. And for me, it wasn't that bad.
That is just
I have
not
a picture
true.
of it underneath the makeup.
What?
That's how I know how to reference it.
A picture you haven't produced or shown to
did.
this jury, right, Miss Heard?
I produced everything.
But you haven't shown it to this jury.
I would very much like to. It's not my job.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Yes, that's fine.
Are they gonna treat the witness as whatever the fuck? Guys, I think you should talk about the ice that have you guys ever seen what was it again? I think it's Jackie Chan, or it's a Karate Kid, and that is little ice blocks or whatever, and they put it on fire, and it insta heals. It's a real thing. Boom, insta heal. Boom, you lose an arm, put it back on. Boom, easy. The actual Giga Chan. So, yeah, Karate Kid. Have you seen the movie before? They have little blocks of ice. I'm not kidding you. I'll show you. Oh, what is this? Show me. Ah. Was this submitted to evidence or not?
What's up with the light bulbs, Mr. Hunt?
Holy. Guys, in terms of legal stuff though, is this a strategy that people do sometimes? They say, oh, I was not advised to. Oh, my lawyers told me not to. I think it's throwing them under the bus. Does that help her at all? Even a little bit? Any lawyers in chat?
I thought you were just a maintenance man.
You think only with
See?
the eyes.
Healed. Boom. You talk about political, economic state of the world? I don't really give a shit. What? Is that a meme that I didn't... Guys, I don't get it. Is that a meme I didn't catch? Oh, it's a meme. Oh, okay. Show me. Guys, what?
On age, and I look and I go around sometimes and I hang out with other people that are my age and they're just kind of just selfie. I'm just like, dude, like, oh my god, like, can we talk about like the political and economic state of the world right now?
Jesus. Okay, that, guys, I did. That was just pretty physically painful. It's not really funny. It's just kind of cringe. Jesus. This guy is cooked up. Okay. Chat, what would they approach in that timing? What do you think they're asking the judge? Is it because they're not getting answers from the they're not getting the answers that they want from the witness? I feel like the witness is just kind of trolling. So what happens if the witness keeps trolling like that? Because I mean, she literally is trolling. Is she not? Guys, the answer she's giving and the rhetoric she's using is actually trolling. How long can you make her troll for? I was told not to. Oh, you have evidence of your injuries. Oh, I was told not to submit them. I mean, Why would your lawyers think you shouldn't submit a picture of your injuries? How could that possibly hurt your case in any way, shape, or form? If you have injuries that are visible, that you were hit with physical force, with rings, literally metal objects hitting your fragile skin, why do you think that could ever hurt your case? There's only one reason for that. One, it doesn't exist. Two, it's dog shit. What other possible reason could there be behind this? They can literally redact the background.
Ms. Heard, you testified that in January of 2015, there was an incident in Tokyo before Mr. Depp's Mordecai, the film Mordecai's premiere. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Here it comes.
And you told this jury that on this occasion, Mr. Depp was kneeling on your back.
That's correct, in the closet.
And you also told this jury that you wore a backless dress to the Mordecai premiere that very same night.
I did.
And you testified that you were checking for bruises in the car on the way to the event to make sure that there were, quote, no visible marks, right?
I was checking on my phone after the event to make sure that nothing.
After the event.
They couldn't see anything.
Your testimony was that you were checking in the car on the way to the event to make sure that there were no marks on your back.
Perhaps I misspoke or misunderstood. It was on the way back from it. Was after I was concerned. After, concerned that there would be marks in any photographs since we were being photographed at Johnny's press event.
And you didn't show this jury a picture of you in that backless dress, though, did you?
I don't know what you mean. I'm sorry.
You didn't show this jury a picture of you at the Mordecai premiere wearing a backless dress, did you?
I haven't had the opportunity to.
Okay.
I assume you have it?
I do. Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1256.
Oh, of course. Of course she does. What about you? What was you thinking?
This is a picture of you and Mr. Depp, or the back of you, at the Mordecai premiere in Tokyo, correct, Ms. Heard?
That is correct.
Your Honor, I move to admit and publish this picture.
All right, 1256 in evidence.
This is you in the backless dress at the Mordecai premiere in Tokyo, right?
That is correct.
You would agree that there are no bruises or visible marks
What is that?
on your back in this picture?
No, not that I could see.
Is that a tattoo? Is that a tattoo?
I'll show you one other photo. If we could please have Plaintiff's Exhibit 1257. This is a front angle picture of you and Mr. Depp at that premiere, correct?
That is correct.
Move to admit Plaintiff's Exhibit 1257.
All right, 1257 in evidence.
No objections, okay. John, I'm just gonna say Johnny looks beaten up here.
I'll show you one more picture. Plaintiff's Exhibit 1258.
Maybe it's his character or whatever.
And again, Ms. Heard, this is you and Mr. Depp at the Mordecai premiere.
Yes, it is.
Move to admit Plaintiff's Exhibit 1258.
All right, 1258 in evidence. Publish.
And that's the backless dress, right, Ms. Heard?
That is correct.
You also told this jury about an incident in Australia in March of 2015.
Yes, that's correct.
You testified that after this alleged incident, you had cuts on your forearms, right?
Yes, that's true.
And you testified that you had cuts on the bottoms of your feet as well.
Yes, that's true.
And you testified that you had a bruise across your jaw from when Mr. Depp, quote, clocked you in the face, end quote.
I remember that.
That's true.
She said that.
You didn't take any pictures of these injuries while you were in Australia, did you?
I don't think I took any pictures.
No pictures.
You just took 2 pictures of Mr. Depp's writing on a mirror. Isn't that right?
I believe so, yes.
So you had your phone on you, right?
At some point I did have my phone.
And your iPad?
I had my iPad, I believe.
You testified that you were also raped with a liquor bottle in Australia, right, Ms. Heard?
Yes.
You testified you bled from your vagina as a result of that sexual assault.
Yes.
There aren't any medical records reflecting that you sought medical treatment for any of these injuries, are there?
I did not seek medical treatment after Australia, no.
Not for the rape?
No, I did not want to tell anyone.
Not for the cuts?
No,
Not for the injuries to your face?
I didn't need to.
You also told the jury about an incident on December 15, 2015, right?
Where? I'm sorry.
December 15th, 2015.
Yes, that's correct.
You told this jury that after this incident, you had a broken nose.
It certainly felt like it.
Oh, come on.
Sir, do you recall giving testimony on day 16th in this trial?
Why play up to the jury that it's broken?
You were
Yes,
under
I do.
oath, right?
Yes.
You can have a transcript for the jury.
Come on, man. If you're gonna give a big dramatic performance on the broken nose, whatever, and then you're asked about it again, backwards.
All right, we'll get it.
What is this? Just ask her to show her arms. Jesus Christ, lady. Jesus Christ.
I will do. Thank you, Judy.
Guys, I've had a
Mr.
biking
X, I
rock
just wanted to
cuts
say
on my
you
arms.
look absolutely
Even the
stunning
slimmest
today,
fucking
sir.
cuts on your arms.
XQC
These scar very poorly.
Witness, Your Honor?
All right, yes, ma'am.
You keep marks.
Yes, please.
Your arms, like this, and over here, they scar like garbage. Like if she has cuts, it'll show, dude.
If I can please direct your attention, Ms. Hurd, to page of day 16, 4593 of the jury trials transcript.
Oh, but she has the makeup thing, the hashtag ad. Bungee gum.
Lines 8 through 13.
On which page? I'm sorry.
4593.
Yes?
Starting on line 8. I thought I probably had a concussion and certainly thought, excuse me, strike that, let's start over. I thought I probably had a concussion and certainly that I had a broken nose. There was blood everywhere, blood all over the pillows. My head was bleeding from the ripped out hair, chunks of hair on the floor, all over the place actually. So lines 9, that I had a broken nose.
Medical records?
Do you recall giving that testimony, Ms. Hurd?
Yes, exactly.
So you had a broken nose, right?
That's absolutely what I thought.
And you told this jury that you had 2 black eyes after this incident, right?
I did have 2 black eyes after that incident.
And you testified that you also had a busted lip from when Mr. Depp punched you.
Stop, chat, stop.
That is correct. From December, yes, that's correct.
You testified that the lip wound kept reopening when you moved your mouth.
That's correct.
You also testified that you had bruising on your temple
That's correct.
and bruising on your chin.
Correct.
You also testified that your head was bleeding from where Mr. Depp ripped chunks of your hair out.
I remember, yes.
And that you had, quote, gross, pussy, and, quote, bruising around your temple.
In my scalp, yeah.
Now, for this incident, you did take pictures.
That's correct.
And we will look at some of those in a minute, but I first want to talk to you about your appearance on the James Corden show.
Sure. Can I close this?
Sure.
I thought the temples were right here.
You appeared on the James Corden show the day after this alleged incident,
I thought temples don't have scalp.
I did.
And that was December 16th, 2015?
Yes, that's correct.
Let's please pull up a clip of your appearance from that evening. If we could, Plaintiff's Exhibit 35.
It's just
and
skin,
for the
no?
record, we will only be playing a portion of this, so we will call it Plaintiff's Exhibit 35A.
Thanks, Judge.
All right, any objection?
I will. Hold on.
35A in evidence.
I grew up, in Texas riding horses and.
Oh, really? Not a big ballet community out there in Texas.
Not so much. Shooting guns, yes, but ballet, no. So I wanted to train for it, and there were some ballet sequences that we wanted to have the option to incorporate into the movie. So I trained forever, and I have 2 left feet. I'm the most klutzy person in the world, and I have no what do you call it? Grace. So I knew.
Your Honor, I'm so sorry, but it's not published to the jury. If we may have it, please published.
Okay, thank you.
Apologies. If we can please start that over.
Start it over, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Who is James Gordon?
Texas riding horses and.
Oh, really? Not a big ballet community out there in Texas.
Not so much. Shooting guns, yes, but ballet, no. So I wanted to train for it, and there were some ballet sequences that we wanted to have the option to incorporate into the movie. So I trained forever, and I have 2 left feet. I'm the most klutzy person in the world, and I have no what do you call it? Grace. So I knew I had to train for it, and what they don't tell you, I crammed about 3 months of solid training in, and I'm kind of like working my way up from the floor and learning the technical aspect of ballet, and I've got these dances down technically perfectly. I'm learning all of the movements, but the last thing we get to are the hands. And I haven't yet got to that point, but everything else is working, and I'm acting it up on my face, and I'm selling the ballet. And I think I'm doing really good at this point, kind of nailing it. And so I send videos and images to my friends to get encouragement and look for their support. And everyone shoots back, what with the claw hand? And I look and I realize all that stress and fear of performing and doing this thing, it just funneled out through the one thing that I hadn't yet mastered.
What were your hands doing?
So I'd be doing this amazing, I'd be doing a jump with a back bend, and you can see this graceful falling, and my hands are and my face though is I've got that you saw in the clip, this beautiful 1920s, stage makeup on, and flower crowns and all this stuff, and then my hand and my face, and then my hands.
VLC, shout out.
That was you on the James Corden show on December 16th, 2015, right, Ms. Heard?
That was.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 98.
VLC's bussin'.
These are pictures of you on the James Corden show on December 16th, 2015, right, Ms. Heard?
They look like freeze frames, like screen grabs. Stills. They're not it's not like a photo shoot, it doesn't seem.
But on the James Corden show, correct?
From that appearance, yes.
Move to admit and publish Plaintiff's Exhibit 98.
Any objection? All right. And Ms. Bernhoff, you could move the microphone and turn it on for you, so Judy and I are having trouble hearing you.
Sorry about that.
All right, thank you. All right, 98 in evidence. Thank you.
What is that?
That's a photo of you opening your mouth on the right, right?
That's correct.
Hey Felix and chat.
And again, a larger view of the same photo on the bottom.
Check them. I have a doctor's appointment
That's
about
correct.
a lump tomorrow.
With a split lip.
Much love XQCL anyway.
You've seen pictures of it without makeup.
Yes. So you had a split lip when you were moving your mouth that way.
I sure did.
In those photographs.
Absolutely.
That would bleed. That would bleed. It would bleed. Literally. As a fellow lip biter, I'll tell you,
after December 15th, correct? And you showed those to the jury?
I sure did, yes.
Okay. Let's please pull up Defendants Exhibit 516, which is already in evidence.
Yeah, but my own lips. Sometimes if I'm kissing a girl, yeah, maybe I'll bite her sometimes, but not like that. Why
You
you asking me that
testified
anyway?
that this is a picture of you after the incident on December 15th, 2015, right?
It was.
And if we could also please pull up Defendants Exhibit 517, which is also in evidence.
That just looks. That doesn't even look real. I'm gonna be honest.
That's fine.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is also a picture of you after the incident on December 15th, 2015.
I don't want to be rude. This doesn't look real.
That's correct.
If we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 409, which is already in evidence.
It could be, I agree, but from that and the other angle, it doesn't match up. Is she crying? Yeah.
These pictures ended up in People magazine in June of 2016. Isn't that right, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
You gave these pictures to People magazine after you publicly accused Mr. Depp of domestic abuse, didn't you?
I didn't personally know.
This was you protecting Mr. Depp after you got the restraining order against him, isn't it?
No, this is him calling me a liar and me forcing to prove it, as I mentioned to you earlier.
I told you.
So you did give these pictures to People magazine?
No, I gave these pictures actually to my lawyers and my representatives at the time.
So it's your testimony, Ms. Heard,
So
that your lawyers and representatives gave these pictures
They broke
of their
attorney
client
privilege?
to People magazine in the middle of a contentious divorce?
I certainly did not personally give it, no.
Okay, stop. So why didn't she
You
sue
also have a
them?
medical record from after the December 15th, 2015 incident, don't you?
A partial one, yes.
You went to see Dr. Kipper's office a couple days later.
That's right. He wasn't in the office.
Can we please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 47, which is already in evidence?
Jesus, dude. Somebody needs to slip her a paper or something. They found the lawyers.
This is your medical record for December 17th, 2015, isn't it, Ms. Heard?
She's just throwing.
That's correct.
And this record doesn't document any physical injuries on you, does it?
A headache.
I don't think so, no. I don't think I spoke to Kipper. I didn't speak to Kipper that day. And
But you
I
went
didn't,
to Dr. Kipper's office and
A
were seen,
headache.
correct?
I went to Dr. Kipper's office for a concussion check.
Right, okay. And this medical record is from that visit, correct?
Partially, yes.
Scroll down, please, if we could.
Damn, okay. Holy.
The signature, Kipper, down below. This is the entirety of the medical record. Right, Ms. Heard?
Yes, what I meant by partial is I didn't talk about what happened to me. I didn't get into my injuries.
That doesn't matter.
Get into what happened or ask for anything other than should I get some sort of scan done.
But this record doesn't document
That's
any physical
irrelevant.
injuries on you, does it?
I'd have to read it in full, but I don't know.
Well, let's do that. If we could please go, well, under skin on the second page, it reads intact, normal color, moisture, hair distribution, texture, turgor, no signs of, oh, this is going to be hard, cyanosis, mottling, jaundice.
It also says I'm a well-nourished male.
Isn't this cyanosis?
Right. I have no idea what that means.
I think this medical record's missing a lot of things.
Yeah, but it doesn't document any physical injuries.
Doesn't seem to be documenting anything.
Probably because there was nothing to document, right, Ms. Heard?
I disagree with you on that.
We'll disagree with the doctor, but it's
died from alcoholism
You don't have any
last
medical
year.
records
I'm a
reflecting that
couple
you broke
days
your
past
nose
the
during
month
your
of
relationship with
sobriety
Mr.
now.
Depp, do you?
Good job, man. What's up, man?
Helped me
Thanks.
keep my mind
I
off drinking
saw an
and
ENT
gave-
after my relationship.
Good job, man. Yeah. Congrats, man. What's up, man? We're with you, man.
And you saw an ENT, it's your testimony under oath that you saw an ENT
Sorry,
for
sorry.
broken noses that you sustained as a result of Mr. Depp?
No, but the ENT told me I sustained
Objection.
multiple fractures.
No, I'm going to move to strike. Your
I'll
Honor.
sustain the objection. I'll move it to strike. Okay.
Thank you.
Nah, it doesn't
So
matter,
again,
though.
just
She's
to-
cheating now. That's
Final
cheating.
question. There's
That
no
is
medical
literally
records
cheating.
reflecting that you broke your nose during your relationship with Mr. Depp. Is there, Ms. Heard?
I don't know what made it in evidence, but I do know that I documented that visit and that everything was given to my attorneys.
Ms. Heard, you never went to see any doctor or surgeon to treat a broken nose during your relationship with Mr. Depp. Yes or no?
I never sought treatment for a broken nose while I was with Johnny.
Or after you were with Mr. Depp, as a result of any injuries you sustained as a result of Mr. Depp?
Afterwards, yes, I did.
And you didn't produce those medical records in this case?
I would object, Your Honor. She did.
I did.
I don't know. All right.
They have not been produced, Your
Yeah,
Honor.
they've not only
All right,
been
if you would
produced.
come and approach.
Lady, either you do your homework or you don't. If you don't have the fucking file, then put that bitch ass in or Discovery or some shit. What is wrong with her? Jesus. Interesting. Trick to waste time? No. It's a trick to go to the board in front and do some sort of like weird sign language instead of stop throwing. Cause she's throwing fucking hardcore, dude. They're laughing. Dude, they're laughing. Come on.
You don't have any medical records reflecting that you required any dental work during your relationship with Mr. Depp, do you?
I don't know. I don't recall.
You don't recall one way or another seeking dental care for any injuries you allegedly sustained?
You asked me about if I had produced records or if I had records. That's a different question.
Did you ever see a dentist or an oral surgeon as a result of any injuries you sustained with Mr. Depp?
Not about any injury I had from Johnny, no.
And you don't have any medical records reflecting that you required any reconstructive work during your relationship with Mr. Depp, do you?
I never required reconstructive work, so there would be no records.
What you do have, Ms. Heard, are pictures of Mr. Depp sleeping, though, right? The jury saw a lot of those.
Yes.
Ms. Heard, let's take a look at Defendants Exhibit 1090, which is already in evidence.
Where is this going? Where is she going with this? Wait a minute. No, not the ice cream. Come on.
You took this photograph, right, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
Oh, okay.
And you testified that this was taken in Tokyo in July of 2013, correct?
Yes.
So you decided to take a picture of Mr. Depp asleep on the floor?
He was passed out.
That's a
And
yes.
I took a picture of him because he wouldn't remember. He claimed he didn't pass out that way. And sometimes security would carry him like a baby into bed, get him changed, and he would be none the wiser. So I started taking pictures of it so that he knew that it was real, that it had gotten this bad.
Let's take a look at Defendants Exhibit 1091, which is already in evidence.
Did anybody ask about that?
You took this picture as well.
Yes.
And this is a picture that was taken in the Bahamas, right?
It's one of them, yes.
And this is a picture of Mr. Depp taking
Bro,
a nap on his tropical
he's
island.
chilling.
I believe he was on the nod, but as he would say.
Sleeping on the nod on his island.
They're very different, in my opinion. And
Okay.
yes, he is on the island.
On vacation.
Oh, you're not allowed?
We were on vacation, yes.
Let's also take a look at Defendants Exhibit 1092, which is also in evidence. You also took this picture, right, Ms. Heard?
That's correct. I did.
And this is another picture of Mr. Depp asleep in a chair.
No, he was nodding off. Sleep is different. When you're nodding off, you're high on drugs, didn't even feel the cigarette in his hand that had, been burning on his leg. It was cause for alarm for me, naturally, because I cared about him.
It's your testimony under oath that Mr. Depp is holding a cigarette in this picture?
He had been.
You seem to really like taking pictures of Mr. Depp while he's sleeping, don't you?
I hated it. I hated it.
Let's look at Defendants Exhibit 1094, which is also in evidence. You took this picture of Mr. Depp as well, didn't you?
I did.
You decided to take a picture of Mr. Depp asleep with ice cream spilled all over him, right?
He was nodding off, and I was worried about how bad the medications and the medication change and the drug use had gotten, where he wouldn't even feel ice cream or a lit cigarette on him, and it scared me.
So you
really.
took a picture of it?
Yes, I wanted him to get help, and Johnny's surrounded by enablers who clean up after him.
Objection,
and protect
Your
him.
Honor, I'm going to move to strike everything after yes, that she took this picture.
Still responsive, Your Honor.
The question was, did you take this picture?
All right, I'll sustain the objection.
Thank you, Your Honor.
More cheating.
This isn't a very flattering picture of Mr. Depp, is it?
No, it's not.
You wouldn't agree.
She knows what she's
that
doing.
this is-
She knows what she's
or
doing.
You would agree with me
She's
that this is an
spamming
embarrassing
info.
scene, right?
Past the fucking answer. For the jury to,
Yes,
the jury to hear.
I think it's a part of getting help, is looking at it, seeing it.
Are you a
But you
professional?
sent this picture to one of your friends.
Are you a
didn't
professional?
I don't recall.
If we could please pull up Defendants Exhibit 252. We'll only be looking at the portion of this document, so if we could please call it Defendants Exhibit 252A.
252A.
And for ease, we've gone ahead and redacted it.
Jesus. I would not get...
Yes, I was asking for support. That's correct.
There's no question yet, Ms. Heard. So directing your attention, I'm going to move to admit Exhibit 252A.
Any objection? Any objection, Ms. Brito? Could you turn your microphone again? I'm sorry.
Didn't
Thank you.
ask.
I need to see it first because I
Okay.
don't know what they redacted.
252.
We redacted the identifiers and anything that's not Ms. Heard's
Up or down on
text messages. Consistent with hearsay.
I would not want to get in an argument with this lady over there. White flag, yeah.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Okay.
Damn. They asked to approach and she gets there first. I would. If I was rolling hard and I had the upper hand the whole time, I would definitely want to get there first. Are you kidding me? Fucking cheaters, man. Dude, guys, I don't like this. I don't like that. Guys, I think what I've learned from these trials a little bit, okay, is that you can strike the record, you can strike paper, and you can black out and redact information on papers. What you cannot redact, though, is human mind. So whenever they say something, it impacts the jury in a pretty significant way that is not negligible. And if they all do their mindset or their perspective on things with information they're spamming in when they know they shouldn't be doing it, that's just cheating. That is literally just cheating, because that evidence shouldn't be admissible. And the reality is, it's not, so it's striked. But the people that are listening to the jury, they still hear it. I understand that they can say, yeah, okay, I have to remember, but guys, that's just, guys, it's like if I brought you on a blind date with a girl, okay, and I de-blind you for a second, and she's ugly, she's like an ogre, okay, I'm like, dude, motion to strike the record, strike it, oh, boom, yeah, I'm good. Remember, she is very nice. She is very hot. What are you thinking? Jesus Christ, it's an ogre. It's a cyclope. It's a big ass orc. It's an orc from fucking Lord of the Rings. It's an orc. You can't like consciously change that. You know? So I think that's just cheating. Oh, is that not how the blind date works? You don't go with a blindfold? I thought that was the whole point. You go with a blindfold and you talk for a little bit and then you remove the blindfolds. It is like that. Oh, you know the person, but there's another degree of blind date. No, I heard about that. I heard there's a restaurant. It's a blind date restaurant where you go and it's all in the dark. and you eat in the dark. Plus, you can't see. It can be like that. It can be like that.
Sir, does this refresh your recollection that you did in fact send this picture to your friend Rocky Pennington?
Yes, I did.
Oh wow, refreshed.
And you sent it to her on August 7th, 2014 at 11:24 p.m., correct?
That is correct.
Literally F5 the IRL.
So you sent Miss Pennington this picture of Mr. Depp with ice cream spilled on him, right?
That is correct.
And you wrote, quote, "This is what I've been dealing with," end quote. Did I read that right?
You did read that right. That's correct.
And this is you protecting Mr. Depp.
That is me getting support from my best friend.
This is you supporting Mr. Depp.
This is me getting support from my best friend. I also need support.
You weren't afraid the monster would get upset that you took this picture?
This was Opiate Johnny. This is a different version of him. This is Opiate on the Nod Johnny.
And you weren't afraid that Opiate Johnny, or the monster as you called him, would get upset that you sent this picture to your friend?
Well, he's all of those things.
I don't know about this
Of course he
line of
could get
questioning.
upset. Of course that's scary to me, of course.
Did
But
it stop you from sending this picture to your friend, did it?
why would it?
Mr. Depp's right hand is in his pocket, right, Miss Heard? In this
Yes,
picture?
that's correct.
The legend says.
You also showed this jury pictures of cocaine. Do you recall that?
Yes, that's correct.
So please take a look at one of those. If we could please pull up Defendants Exhibit 167A, which is already in evidence.
The legend says the man was forced to watch a Ludwig stream for an hour straight.
Directing your attention, Ms. Heard, to a photograph. This is a photograph you took in March of 2013,
I'm
right?
just kidding.
That is correct.
And this was taken at your apartment in Orange?
Yes,
And this is your breakfast table?
that is correct.
And it's your testimony that Mr. Depp left this breakfast table just the way you took it.
That is correct.
So this is what the table looked like after Mr. Depp had been doing cocaine?
Well, clearly he has yet to snort these lines.
Oh, sorry.
There are 4 lines of cocaine on this table, right, Ms. Heard?
In this picture, I see 4 lines.
I see 3.
There isn't any cocaine residue around those lines, right?
Not that I can tell, no.
Doesn't really look like anyone's been doing cocaine off that table, does it?
With all due respect, I'm not sure you know how that works.
I'm asking if you do. You've testified you've done cocaine.
I have.
Doesn't really look like Mr. Depp or anyone was doing cocaine off that table, does it?
I beg to differ with you on that. When you snort cocaine, typically it goes into your nose.
And there's
Doesn't stay on the
residue.
table.
No.
There's residue from that cocaine when your lips and nose touch the table, right?
Well, the tampon applicator next to the driver's
Okay.
license that you see is a device that I believe my sister had taught him to use in order to put the cocaine in your nose.
Mr. Depp is a pretty heavy smoker, right?
He is.
And that's a cigarette in the ashtray in the back there? Back right?
Yes, it looks like one of his hand rolls.
There's no other cigarettes in that ashtray, are there?
I see 1 cigarette.
The one that's not smoked.
That's correct.
There's no ash in that ashtray either, is there?
Not that I can tell in this picture.
It's pretty clean.
In this picture, it looks like it, yes.
It's a pretty neat
Oh,
table.
it's a setup.
Wouldn't you agree?
It's a
Depends on what you
fucking
call me, I
setup.
suppose.
And you sent this picture to your friend Rocky Pennington
The
as well,
beer
didn't
is
you?
full.
I sure did.
And when you sent it, you said, quote, "Look at my morning," or something like that. Is that right?
Yay for mornings.
So you have a habit of sending staged photographs to your friend Rocky, don't you?
I had a habit of communicating with my best friend about what was going on in my life.
Wait a minute.
You don't have any pictures of Mr. Depp actually consuming cocaine, do you?
I don't think I have a picture of him mid-snort. No.
You don't even have any pictures of Mr. Depp with cocaine.
What do you mean by that?
Holding cocaine, standing next to cocaine, sitting next to cocaine.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, you haven't shown any of those pictures like that to the jury, have you?
I don't know. No, I haven't.
Oh, shit.
And you were never able to catch Mr. Depp with cocaine on film either, were you?
I never tried.
But you were able to catch him sleeping, right?
I have seen him pass out in all sorts of places, yes.
And you also captured a video of Mr. Depp in the kitchen that was played again for this jury today, beating up some cabinets. Do you recall that?
Sorry, say that again?
You recall
She's
capturing
zoning
Mr.
out,
Depp
so please,
in the
man.
kitchen of one of his homes, beating up some cabinets?
She's doing something else.
Yes. Slamming things around, yes.
So you took that video of Mr. Depp in the kitchen, right?
I did. I did.
And you took it on one of your iPad devices?
I took it on my iPad.
You were deposed in August of 2016 in connection with your divorce proceedings from Mr. Depp, right?
That is correct.
And you will recall that the video of Mr. Depp in the kitchen was released online the day before your deposition in August of 2016, don't you?
That's correct.
You're the one who released that video.
Incorrect.
Isn't that true?
That's incorrect. I flew in from another place at the time. I remember learning about it when I landed.
So it's just a coincidence that the video you took of Mr. Depp was released the day before you were
What?
deposed in connection with your divorce from Mr. Depp.
I absolutely had nothing to do with that. I wouldn't even know how to do something like that.
It's a cool phone, man.
You settled your divorce from Mr. Depp in August of 2016, right?
It's a cool phone.
That sounds right.
And in connection with that settlement, you received $7 million from Mr. Depp, true?
That's correct.
And then
6.8, exactly.
Your settlement amount was $7 million.
That's correct.
And then you released a statement in which you claimed you would be donating the entire $7 million to charity, right?
That's correct.
You stated you would be donating half of the $7 million to the ACLU,
That's correct.
and you would be donating the other half to Children's Hospital of Los Angeles.
That is correct.
Here
And
it
you also
comes.
stated, with respect to the $7 million divorce settlement, that money played no role except for the extent that you could donate the money to charity.
Yes, that's correct.
If we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit
Oh my
1259.
God. What is 1759? Oh.
This is an article entitled Amber Heard Donates Johnny Depp Divorce Settlement to Charity. Read her statement in full. Is that correct?
That's what the title says, yes.
Directing your attention to the portion on the second page where it says, quote, read the statement below.
She's gonna make her read it?
Is that the statement you released, Ms. Heard?
That is correct.
Your Honor, I move to admit the statement and the article as redacted.
Objection, hearsay.
It's her statement.
It's her statement. What the fuck?
This is not her statement. This is
She just testified, Your Honor, that it's her statement.
May I say the full?
Everything else is redacted.
Okay, then I have no objection.
All right, 1259 in evidence as redacted.
Goofy.
The statement reads, as described in the restraining order and divorce settlement, money played no role for me personally and never has, except to the extent that I could donate it to charity, and in doing so, hopefully help those less able to defend themselves. As reported in the media, the amount received in the divorce was $7 million, and $7 million is being donated. This is over and above any funds that I have given away in the past and will continue to give away in the future. Did I read that correctly?
That is correct. I don't remember that last line, but I have no that doesn't stand out to me as wrong.
There's nothing inaccurate in the statement.
Not that I recognize, no.
Mr. Depp donated $100,000 of the divorce settlement directly to the ACLU. Is that right?
Right at the beginning of the divorce settlement, he donated $100,000 to each charity on my behalf or towards my contribution.
So $100,000
to each.
To the ACLU.
And to the Children's Hospital.
Wait.
And in response, you publicly demanded that Mr. Depp pay the divorce settlement directly to you instead of the charities, right?
That was always the agreement, actually, is for him to pay me directly. It was not his money as per the settlement agreement to give away and reap a tax benefit from. I said if he wants to do it and give to charity all of a sudden, then he should pay the correct amount and not try to get a big tax break for it.
So
tax
effectively
breaks? For his tax bracket, he should be paying
That's
double
not how that
amount
works.
to the charity directly. And if he wanted to pay the charity directly, he could.
That's not even
He
how
could
that
do that. It
works.
was fine with me, but
No, it's
he
not.
would need to pay the adjusted amount.
You get tax breaks.
Ultimately, the rest of the $7 million divorce settlement was paid directly to you, right?
Over time, yes.
And Mr. Depp didn't
Oh
end up
my
paying
God.
the rest of the $7 million divorce settlement directly to the charities you identified.
That is correct. He
You're misunderstanding.
paid the installments to me.
You stopped that from happening, didn't you?
I don't understand what your question is. I'm sorry.
You stopped Mr. Depp from paying the charities that you had named directly.
That is incorrect. I said if you want to pay the charities directly, pay the adjusted amount, or pay as per our agreement in the settlement or in the divorce, as per our agreement.
You also
And he
publicly
chose to do the former, not the latter. I mean, the other way around.
You also publicly stated that the $7 million divorce settlement should be paid to the charities immediately in full, right?
If he wanted to pay it in the way that he was suggesting, yes.
And you said publicly that the payments to the charities should not be drawn out over many years, right?
I said that I don't recall the exact words that I used, but basically that he shouldn't use this as a novel interest in getting a tax break. That if he wanted to do that and not pay me the settlement, that was fine, but he would have to pay the adjusted amount and not make it, you know, a commitment he would not
adjusted
fulfill
amount?
or try to avoid in some other way.
And that's because you wanted the entire world to think that you were donating every penny of the $7 million divorce settlement as soon as you received it from Mr. Depp. Isn't that right?
No, I was going to be receiving it in installments, and I would be paying in installments the donations.
That makes sense.
In fact, you released a statement in response to Mr. Depp's $100,000 donations to the ACLU and CHLA, didn't you?
I don't recall.
Let's see if we can refresh your recollection. If we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1260.
I wonder what her notes say.
This is
Question.
an article entitled
If
Amber Heard and
denies
Johnny Depp
this.
row over divorce donations. And if I could direct your attention to where it says, I believe it's on the second page, her spokeswoman responded in a statement. The language that follows the statement you released.
Objection, hearsay, spokeswoman, it's not her.
A spokesperson is an exception, Your Honor.
You want to come forward?
Ooh. A spokesperson is an exemption of the rule. Hearsay. Holy shit! Let's see how this plays out. Bold strategy. A loophole, Andy. Not bad. Let's see if it plays out.
You released a statement
May
through.
we approach again?
Okay.
Oh my god! What? The approach again? They didn't say anything! Guys, you guys know exactly what my philosophy is about donating and charities. donate or don't. And the amounts are irrelevant. End of story. This will always apply, and I don't think my mentality will ever change. Either donate or don't. And the amounts are absolutely irrelevant.
Before we ask the next question, I'll just...
But don't say something and do something else.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. That's exactly what I said.
What?
Your Honor, would you like to see one as well?
No, that's all right. That's fine. Thank you.
I do it sometimes. I'll tell you guys about it.
Could you please turn your microphone on? I'm sorry, Mr. Bernhoff.
Sometimes I don't donate.
What
about it?
Your Honor, they gave me a redacted, but I don't have the unredacted to be able to see the full document.
I plan to admit it, or ask that it be admitted in redacted form. I'm taking away any hearsay, and I'm just trying to lay the foundation that this is a statement she released through a spokesperson.
How would I know whether there's more to it that shouldn't be redacted, Your Honor, if I don't see the full document?
Who did I donate to? A bunch of stuff, like the wildfires, a bunch of I donated to my high school.
Your Honor, the witness can testify as to whether this is a full statement or not.
The witness can't do, we have the right to be able to see the document.
All right. Do you have a document that's not redacted?
We can pull it up on our computers.
Okay.
What?
Just give us a moment, Your Honor.
All right.
I can represent this is the full statement that's reported.
Okay, give her an opportunity to look at the unredacted one.
Thank you.
I donated to my high school, man, for people that can't afford to go to schools or get good education or whatever. To give like fucking money to people in need or whatever the fuck. They were very thankful. What does Sammy say? Yeah, I thought I'd do it again, but in a more like structured, better way than last time. I want to have something cool, where if students that come from tough backgrounds put in the efforts and whatever, and they try, but they're broke, they can afford to go to places and to pursue that. Because I think sometimes these guys are going to go further than some people that are kind of like fortunate. I mean, it's not further, but you know. You know how it is. Juicer scholarship. So what did Sammy say? He donated me 3 cars? Funny, dude.
So, Your Honor, can we have a copy of this?
Yeah, you can get a copy of that later today. Okay?
Right.
All right.
I mean, I think she should be giving us copies of the full.
Well, I
thing
understand, but
before.
we'll take care of that. But
Okay.
as of right now, can we continue?
We can, Your Honor, but I have an objection because of, there's some quotation marks missing.
Okay, come forward.
Oh my gosh, she's directing to the sunlight. Holy shit. Chat, show me the sunlight enjoyer meme. Show me that. Nah, it's just that over the years I realized that people are very picky about the amounts people donate. Like, oh, this guy's donating this amount or this amount or this amount. I think it's just really stupid. Like, you don't know how committed some people are to certain causes and how important that they have personally with some of these causes. Like, some of these things, some of these institutions and some of these causes, I don't believe in. So what do? I don't donate a certain amount to get public recognition for that thing. I just don't fucking donate. Literally. If there's some causes that I don't really believe in or I believe less than others, I'll donate $0. Because I don't have to do anything. Nobody has to. But the problem is that if you say you will and you don't, well, then you're just kind of a moron.
All right.
No, because not that one. The one where Johnny has the thing on his face.
So directing your attention, Ms. Heard, where it says her spokeswoman responded in a statement.
Your
The
Honor-
language that follows.
Your Honor, again, she can't read it. She has to show it
The
to
language
her.
that follows.
Found it.
If you want to lay a
Is this-
foundation to that, go ahead.
You released a statement after Mr. Depp donated $100,000 to the ACLU and $100,000 to CHLA. Correct, Ms. Heard?
I think so, yes.
Okay. And the language that follows is the statement you released in response to Mr. Depp's donations, right?
I don't know if this is the official statement. I have no idea.
The statement that starts
Objection,
at
Your Honor.
Amber Heard. That's the only thing I'm going to say. Would you please read that to yourself, Ms. Heard?
Yes.
Did you read all the way to the very bottom where the last word is supported?
Yes.
Okay. That's a statement you released through your spokeswoman after Mr. Depp made the donations to the CHLA and the ACLU. Correct, Ms. Heard?
I do not recall exactly what my statement was. I don't disagree with anything in the statement, but I just simply don't recall what the statement was we released.
Is there anything inaccurate in that statement, Ms. Heard?
No.
I'm going to move to admit.
Objection, Your Honor, lack of foundation.
Oh my
Overruled
God!
Objection to what, 1260 in evidence over objection.
Thank you, Your Honor. Statement reads, Amber Heard appreciates Johnny Depp's novel interest in supporting two of her favorite charities, the ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union for Domestic Violence, and the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. This is great and unexpected news. And it continues. However, if Johnny wishes to change the settlement agreement, we must insist that he honor the full amount by donating $14 million to charity, which, after accounting for his tax deduction, is equal to his $7 million payment obligation to Amber.
Okay.
And it continues.
Chill the fuck.
We would also insist that the full amount be paid immediately and not drawn out over many years. Anything less would be a transparent attempt by Johnny's counsel, Laura Wasser and Patty Glazer, to reduce their client's true payment by half
That is
under
not
the
how math
guise
works.
of
It's
newfound
not.
concern for charities that he has never previously supported, end quote. Did I read that correctly?
Yes.
Thank you. After this, you kept commenting about the donation of your divorce settlement, right?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Okay. You spoke about donating your divorce settlement on a Danish TV show, correct?
I believe I said I had. I believe I said I donated it to charity, but it was already printed or already commented on and stated in the press. I had already released that information in the press. I think I just confirmed it on that show.
You appeared on a show called RTL Late Night, right?
I don't recall what show it was.
If we could please play Plaintiff's Exhibit 346, which is a portion of your appearance on this program.
She's doing it to herself,
And we
dude.
would ask that it be moved into evidence and ask for
any
permission
objection?
to publish it.
It contains, it has hearsay, it contains other communications with other individuals.
Your Honor, if we may approach very briefly.
Just let her play the goddamn podcast. Also, guys, it's nothing against Denmark. I love Denmark. I have a lot of Denmark friends from Overwatch and whatnot. Okay, I have a bunch of people from Denmark. I love Denmark. Okay. What the fuck is she doing? Talking on some fucking late night Danish talk show, of all fucking things that she's doing these days. Guys, it's like tomorrow. I went on an early morning Guatemalan fucking radio broadcast to speak about the fucking ecosystem of the camels or some shit. Like, what are you talking about? What? Because it seems far out, no? Unless she's Denmarkian. Is she Denmarkian? Is she or not? No, more Danish, sorry. Shh. Be quiet. Oh, she's promoting a movie. It makes sense, but sorry. I'm making assumptions because I'm mauling, because I think her answers are annoying, so I'm trying to fill in the gaps. Can you really blame me, dude? She's given no answers, no recollection, and she's forcing the whole trial to stall. And I think what they're doing is that since they're on a timer and a clock, right? They're wasting time putting stuff into evidence and publishing, right? By saying, I don't recall, putting the publishing, and they're wasting their clock time. That actually, it'll come down to the wire. That's lame as fuck. I think that's incredibly lame. I think at the beginning of the trial, 2 weeks ago, they said that they had how many hours remaining? 28 or something, or 18? I don't remember. Like 28 or 26. Now they're just stalling. Stalling until tsunami. Okay.
So if we could please play and publish to the jury Plaintiff's Exhibit 346.
All right, 346 in evidence.
There allegedly were all kinds of accusations flying your way when you said all this, and then there was a divorce.
Bro?
$7 million in total was donated to. I split it between the ACLU and Children's Hospital of Los Angeles.
ACLU is a human rights organization.
Sorry, ACLU is a prominent organization, nonprofit organization in the United States. It's called the American Civil Liberties Union, and they work on behalf of marginalized communities on the ground and in legislative reform. And
well, more power to you, because that's something that I've never heard
I wanted nothing.
This interview was in October of 2018, right, Ms. Heard?
I don't recall when it was.
It was in 2018, right, Ms. Heard?
I don't remember when this was done.
This was after you had received the full $7 million of your divorce settlement.
Well,
from
she
Mr.
has.
Depp, wasn't it?
Again, without knowing when it was recorded, I have no idea.
The $7 million divorce settlement was paid to you in full by February of 2018, right?
That's correct.
Let's take a look at Defendants Exhibit 1458, which is already in evidence.
Guys, what is Dutch? What is Denmark? Danish.
This is the deal point memorandum from your divorce settlement, right, Ms. Heard?
Dutch?
Yes, that's what it looks like.
And if we go down to
Danish.
the bottom of page 4.
I haven't slept for shit.
There's a heading labeled
Netherlands is Dutch.
Equalization Payment. Do you see that?
Yes.
And underneath
It's not me.
if we go down to the bottom of page 4. So the first payment is scheduled for August 31st, 2016, and that's $200,000, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Mr. Depp's accountant, Edward White, testified that he
Long
made
crime
that
guy,
payment directly.
left side.
You got to turn on your microphone, Ms. Berderhoff. I'm not going to hear you.
Objection to
Addie.
her testifying to what Mr. White testified to. That.
Okay.
It's a he literally testified to it in court.
I'll overrule objection. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Depp's accountant, Edward White, testified that he made the payment directly to the ACLU and CHLA, correct?
I believe so.
There you go. Good job.
Were all made to you, weren't they?
That is correct.
And the final payment of $2.3 million is on February 1st, 2018, right?
The final payment, yes.
And you were here in court when Mr. White testified that the payments were all made on schedule.
I'm going to object to her testifying to what Mr. White testified to. It's
Overrule the
improper.
objection. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. And you were here in court when Mr. White testified that the payments were all made on schedule, right?
I don't believe they were. He might have
That's
testified
not my
to
question, Ms. Hurd. My question was, you were here in court when Mr. White testified under oath that all the payments were made on schedule.
I was here every day in court. I heard his testimony, yes.
Okay. So back to October of 2018, this was before Mr. Depp sued you for defamation, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
He didn't sue you until after the op-ed came out in December of 2018, right?
He sued me in 2019.
Oh, I see.
And the op-ed came out
Timeline
in
error.
December of 2018.
That is correct.
Timeline
So in
error.
October of 2018, you had received your entire $7 million divorce settlement. You would agree with me.
That is correct.
And you
I
hadn't
get it.
yet been sued by Mr. Depp.
This is October, correct.
So in this October 2018 interview, you said that you had, quote, donated, end quote, your entire divorce settlement to charity, right?
That's correct.
And in fact, your exact words were, quote, $7 million in total was donated to, I split it between the ACLU and the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, end quote, right?
That's correct. I made that statement as soon as I got a divorce and we reached the settlement. That's when I pledged it, right then.
And you say this because you, quote, wanted nothing, end quote.
That is correct.
Literally lying. That is not the word
But
you
you
use.
hadn't donated your entire $7 million settlement to charity at that point, had you?
That's incorrect.
Sitting here today, Ms. Hurd, you still haven't donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity. Isn't that right?
Incorrect. I pledged the entirety of the
Ms. Hurd,
settlement, $7
that's
million
not my
to
question.
charity, and I
Ms. Hurd,
intend to
Ms.
fulfill
Hurd,
those obligations.
Ms. Hurd, that's not my question. Please,
What was
try
your
to answer
question?
my question. Sitting here today, you have not donated the $7 million, donated, not pledged, donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity.
I use pledge and donation synonymous with one another.
I don't.
That is not.
I don't use it synonymously.
That's how donations are paid.
Ms. Hurd,
That is not true.
respectfully, that's not my question. As of today, you have not paid $3.5 million of your own money to the ACLU. Yes or no?
I have not yet.
And as of today, you have not paid $3.5 million of your own money to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, correct?
I have not yet. Johnny sued me.
So as of today,
dude,
you have not
see?
donated, paid $7 million of your divorce settlement to charity, right?
I have not been able to fulfill those obligations yet.
That is
And
fucking
that's
disgusting.
because you did want something, didn't you?
I didn't want anything, and I didn't get anything.
You wanted Mr. Depp's money.
Didn't get it. Wasn't interested in it. I loved Johnny. That's why I was with him.
You wanted praise for donating the money, right?
That's incorrect.
You wanted good press.
In general, one does want good press, yes.
You wanted to seem altruistic publicly.
Wasn't my interest. My interest is in my name and clearing my name, and at the time I was being called a liar and my motives were being questioned. I did see it as important to clear that up. I wanted to make a statement to make sure that there was not any doubt that I couldn't be labeled these things just because Johnny was a bigger star and had more publicity reach.
You wanted to remind everyone of your claims of domestic violence against Mr. Depp, right?
No, I wanted to move on with my life.
You wanted to make those claims seem believable.
They are believable. They were
You wanted
believable.
them to be seen, you wanted to be seen, as a noble victim of domestic violence,
I
didn't
have
you?
never wanted to be seen as a victim. Nor have I ever called myself one.
You testified under oath that, quote, the entirety of your divorce settlement
What the fuck?
Was donated to charity, end quote, didn't you?
That's correct. I pledged the entirety.
No. Ms. Heard, my questions. Your counsel will have time to redirect you after. You testified under oath, quote, the entirety of your divorce settlement was donated to charity, end quote.
That is correct. I pledged the entirety.
I'm going to move to strike everything after yes.
Oh my god.
All right.
No. Ms. Hurt, this is really inappropriate.
This is
I'll sustain
inappropriate.
the objection, and we'll just move forward.
Thank you.
Let's move forward. Next question.
Under oath, that statement wasn't true, was it, Ms. Hurd?
Holy.
I'm sorry, I don't follow your question. Sorry.
You testified under oath, quote, the entirety of my divorce settlement was donated to charity, end quote.
Past tense.
That statement wasn't true.
It is true. I pledged the entirety
That's
to charity.
not. I'm not.
Statement.
Dude.
When you say you buy a house, you don't pay
Ms.
for the
Hurd,
entire
Ms.
house
Hurd,
at one time.
respectfully,
You pay it
I'm
over
not asking,
time.
Ms. Hurd.
All right, next question, please.
Thank you. That statement isn't true today.
That is not the
As
same
you sit
thing at
here
all.
Today, is it?
What an
It
outrageous
is true.
comparison.
I pledged the entirety.
But
to
you didn't
charity.
donate it.
Unfortunately,
You didn't donate it. It's a yes or no.
I haven't been able to to fulfill those
So that's a no,
obligations.
right, Ms. Hurd?
I made the pledge. I want to be very clear. I pledged the entirety. I haven't been able to fulfill those pledges because I've been sued.
You had all of the
That's
$7
not
million
how that works.
for 13 months before Mr. Depp sued you, and you chose not to pay it to the charities you pledged it
Good job. Good
to.
job.
Correct,
I
Ms. Hurd.
disagree with your characterization of that.
Good.
Let's look at your sworn testimony from the UK.
What? Disagree?
All right, yes, ma'am.
Guys, even on the basis that the payments of the divorce settlement come in installments and the donation comes in installments, right? She would have ample amount of time to sync it to where it would be done. But yet there's a 13-month gap in between the end of this.
Do you want me to close
and
the shades?
The donos. There's an actual
light
gap.
coming across.
13 months, what you said,
I
right?
appreciate that.
Has
It's
to be a little
probably
more
good light. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
What the fuck is that book? What the fuck? Oh my god, these rings! These rings are like the earrings that people used to wear.
This is your third witness statement that you submitted in the UK action,
That's
right,
a
Mr. Hurd?
bibble.
Correct.
And this statement was made under oath, true?
It's true.
I'm directing your attention to the last page of that statement. That's your signature, right?
Yes, it is.
So you made this sworn statement on February 26, 2020.
That's correct.
And directing your attention to paragraph 4. It says, quote, I remained financially independent from him the whole time we were together.
My phone?
And the entire amount of my divorce
Oh.
settlement was donated to charity, end quote.
That is correct.
Did I read that correctly?
Yes, you did.
The him you were referring to is Mr. Depp.
That is correct.
Oh my god, that binder.
Most of the money that was donated to the ACLU and CHLA in your name came from someone else. Isn't that right?
I don't know what you mean by most of.
Well, at least $500,000 that was donated to the ACLU in your name wasn't paid by you, right?
I believe Elon made a donation in my honor on one of the years.
So what did you do?
And
Did
it
she
didn't
bank
come
the
out of your
rest?
$7 million divorce settlement, right?
No, nor did it count towards my pledge.
But she didn't finish the pledge
And
though.
at least $500,000 that was donated to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles in your name wasn't paid by you either.
Right, those were made at the same time.
And it didn't come out of your $7 million
Wait.
divorce settlement.
Nor did it count to my 3.5 obligation.
Those $500,000 payments came from your new boyfriend, Elon Musk, right?
I don't know if he was a new boyfriend at the time.
You got him to pay part of what you promised to these two charities, didn't you?
Incorrect.
because you wanted to keep at least some of the $7 million divorce settlement for yourself, right?
You're very wrong about that.
I think this, if Your Honor is
Okay,
fine,
you said
this is a good
this is
stopping
breaking
point.
Okay, that's fine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll stop here for the evening. Remember tonight, do not do
Oh
any
my
outside research. Do
God.
not discuss the case with anybody. I know these days are a little longer, and I appreciate your patience and your taking care of everything here. Please take care of
Dude,
yourself
she just
tonight,
got
okay? We'll see you in the
attacked.
morning at 9 a.m.
Oh my god, dude, she didn't have a concussion then, she's gonna have one tonight. Fucking hell, man. That must be a holy. She just got fucking
Again, Mr. Richards,
striped,
you're still
man.
on the witness stand. Please do not discuss your testimony.
What? No, I
with
didn't mean
any
like
of
that.
your
Come on,
attorneys, okay?
man. What the fuck is
All
on,
right,
man?
9 o'clock tomorrow then? All right, we'll see you at 9 o'clock. Thank you.
Alright. I have to be.
Her complaint was that she bumped her head standing up 2 days ago, not a concussion from being abused. Wow.
Also, I'm surprised though, chat. Guys, concussions are no joke. If you think you have a concussion, you don't fuck around. You go get help ASAP. A concussion, dude, your brain is literally expanding in your fucking skull, and your skull isn't, and it's not expanding. It's a piece of fucking, it's a piece of bone. You literally fucking die. Like what? If it gets bad, yeah.
The only way that anybody can take this seriously from her side is if they cling to some dogmatic ideology that makes no sense and has no respect.
How's that not true? That's how it works, no?
Bunch of bullshit.
If you hurt yourself, you swell. If you hurt your brain, and it smashes, it swells in your head.
Holy fuck, man. This is just, as I said, I think this is just so funny. I do. I do. Because, like, people, they keep seeing this stuff, and let's see, we got a few more. Oh, yeah, we got this, and I've seen this already. Yeah, I made this comparison the second that we saw it.
Mine was a little bit more, mine was different. I had a different one.
Oh, here we go. Now, this is, you want to hear about something unnecessary that everybody knows?
Yes, I was wondering what he says about it, man.
Pledge and donate. Guess what? They're two different things. Here's what I'm saying is that here's a really big bit of advice that I would advise pretty much everybody to do. If coincidence and personal gain converge, it's probably not a coincidence. Do you think that Amber Heard, who was clearly fixated more than anything on her reputation, that she said she didn't care about the money, she cared about her reputation, which to be fair, I think that's fair. That's something that makes sense, right?
Yeah, it does.
Which one would look better? Would it look better for her to say that she was going to donate the money or that she did donate the money? Well, I think it would make more sense and it would be more fair for her to say that she already did. So guess what? That's what she said. So she said the thing that was beneficial to her at the time stated. You make a pledge on Kickstarter, then you donate to fulfill your pledge. I don't know why Amber Heard is so stupid that she can't understand that. You are stupid because you think that she doesn't understand that. You're not really stupid, but
yeah,
you've been hoodwinked.
She could have just went ahead and said it.
You've been fooled.
No, yeah, guys, okay? She could have went and said it.
Yes, please, you're not dumb. I'm not being mean. But, like, she knows that. Everybody knows that.
I said that.
She's deliberately misunderstanding things in order to craft a fake narrative.
Is not a problem.
That's obviously what she's doing. King
like
Charmander, thank you much for the 5. Get the community subs. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Deliberately
yeah, you're being
obtuse.
Amber, exactly. And wow,
Asman is fine. I like Asman. It's not a problem.
She's not going to openly incriminate herself. She's going to deny it forever. But she can't.
Innocence?
She actually can't deny it. So and also, like, she's already stated that she hasn't done it. Amber was sitting on that money and getting millions.
At least she donated something better than nothing. I don't agree, because she came out and said it, and she said that she did not care about the money. That she did not care about the money. That's what she said. That's what she claimed she did. She didn't want any of the money. Yet, now she wants some of the money because of the repercussions, some of the bills that are coming in because of all this bullshit. And now the charity takes the back burner. That's not how it works, though. That is not how it works. If you say you donate all of it, you don't get to say, oh, guys, but now I'll donate a little bit less because I broke my arm. Because I have to donate less because my crypto went down because their markets are down. guys, I donate less because, well, I hit him with my car and he's suing me for injuries. Oh, guys, now I have to donate even less because the price of gas is going up. What even is this bullshit? What even is that? It's why, if you're gonna make a statement that is bold as saying I'm donating all of it, I mean, you have to follow through. Sorry. The safe play is to not donate all of it. How's it a bad take?
Wow. Well, hey, makes sense. It takes one to know.
You disagree.
And like, yeah, let's see what.
How could you possibly disagree with that? How could you? How could you possibly disagree with what I just said? It's not fair. It's not fair comparison. It's to pay to protect herself and the person that gave her the money. Okay. Okay. In that case, why pledge all of it? Because if you don't care about the money, or you claim you don't, and then you need it, and you care about it, you look like a hypocrite. Because you can say, guys, I thought I was going to donate all the juice, but then I'm getting sued, and I can't afford it if it goes in my guys. The reality is, dude, do you not think that she's spending some of the lawyer fees or whatever with the amount that she's got over here? That didn't go to charity? I mean, absolutely. It's irony. The reality is, I've been spending that.
And somewhat understandable is that she didn't want to donate the money anymore because now she was getting sued. But I didn't know what the timeline was.
She's making
apparently,
from 7 million at
15%. That's why I said
a million a year.
Over the year sounds
Also,
better.
I miss Dr. Curry.
So anyway, she didn't donate the money because she was worried that she was going to get sued and lose the money, and she didn't have that much money. And I think that makes perfect sense, right? I get it. It makes sense.
Then say that.
Shad, thanks to the 5 Get the Community subs. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So she had over a year to donate the money without the context of her needing to save the money to worry about Johnny Depp suing her.
I forgot about that.
You see what I'm saying? So it was clearly not, the reason was clearly not because of that.
The suing is a easy scapegoat. True, actually. True. It's a scapegoat, dude, because she had a whole year. No shot I didn't know. No shot.
Now doesn't want her to donate to the children's hospital. Isn't that fucking convenient?
Interesting.
And then also, the press release that came out from her spokesperson
because
said
I spent
it was
all my
unexpected.
money on Clash World Gems and Counter-Strike cases and cheese.
What is that shit, bro? What is that shit, bro? You're gonna put it's unexpected that he wasn't gonna donate the money, or that he didn't care about civil liberties or kids in hospitals. Like, what kind of horse shit is that you're gonna put it in there, man? Oh my fucking god. Like, how does that even happen? That's him yeah, that's her protecting him, exactly. Imagine Johnny got the money out of this and then says, don't worry, I'll fulfill your pledge for you. I think that's what he'll do. I unironically think that Johnny will make a big dick move, take the money away from her with the $50 million, and then donate that shit back to the charities, and probably try to do it in her name.
Okay,
you know, or like, even like that would be fucking funny, man.
Okay, at least tinfoil hat tape.
Didn't Johnny, what's this here? Didn't Johnny Depp go to 6 children's hospitals dressed as Captain Jack Sparrow?
And
yes, he did, and he's done this for years now. Of course he has, and he didn't. Yeah. So what? How? That's actually a very good point. Thank you. Yes, there we go. Concerns for charities that he has never previously cared about. Look at this horse shit. Meanwhile, this guy is going in full fucking makeup, in an outfit, and then also in the context of him getting the shit beaten out of him by this fucking harpy, and he's going and dressing up and trying to cheer people up in hospitals. Meanwhile, half the fucking time, he wouldn't even need to put on the eye makeup because Amber did that for him.
What about the time where she was getting pummeled the back of the head? Literally pummeled. That was the time where she said she lost her hair, though, right?
Bro, what the fuck?
Yeah, man, today was fucking crazy.
To donate $50 million, but she got rug pulled low.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not stupid.
Johnny. Here's some pictures. Oh, it's Johnny passed out on the floor.
Yeah, that never happened. Okay. Well, that was absolutely fucking bussin'. Check DMs from who? From who, man? From who?
She could have invested the divorce money and profited while also eating up all the praise from the media.
One, number of people love watching.
Did you guys know the
Yeah, it's very humid in here. How do you know?
Tomorrow? Yeah, me neither. Omega lol. W2.
But I don't trust a lot of other fucking people to watch this shit and give it a fair shake. I don't trust them. I don't trust the media. I don't trust these publications, etc. I don't.
Well, you shouldn't trust me. I'm a dumb fucker.
They're full of shit. They've got their own biases. And you know what?
I'm also full of shit and full of biases.
Friends of mine that have been in positions like Johnny Depp.
That's what makes it fun, though.
Well known, well ahead of time.
No bias, no fun.
You guys
So what?
know that. Absolutely, I've had people have like say that, have that happen.
What? No bias, no fun. Everybody has biases. Nobody's unbiased. That's just not. It's not a thing. It's why I try not to underplay some of the things that she's saying. Yeah, there's probably a little bit of truth to some of it, but not to the extent that she's saying. I think she's being fucking weird about it. I think it's been all the whole thing. Okay, what else?